Good morning, you guys. How are you guys doing today? It's a little early for me. I'm a little behind on the times, I guess you could say. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Leo's Burger, Pip Forever, That One Leaf, Sweet Tea. How are you guys doing? I've been having class, but it's done for now. Hell yeah, the Communist Crusader. I basically rolled out of bed. Hello, Mikey. Mickey again, the mute. Waifu, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. Hello, Cypher. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I've had having this weird sickness symptom. Hold on real quick. I gotta redo my hair. I literally just rolled out of bed. So like I'm not even like properly, I guess, prepared. But thank you, my dear Mickey. Is this profile picture just KO? Yeah, it's my acrylic standee is what it is. Hi Chaos. Hello Goku the Black Man. Is it the Chaos standee? It is. It is my acrylic standee. Hi Yoshi. Hi Millie Booty. So I've been going through this weird last 12 hours, not 12 hours, sorry, like 48 hours. I keep having this really strange wave of nausea, and it literally like stops me in my tracks. Like I went for a walk last night, and it got so bad at one point, like I literally was just like bent over on the sidewalk, trying not to vomit. But it just like comes in waves, and that's it. And it's like no digestive problems. I need to turn the fan. Oh, I'll open the... Oh, damn. I was gonna say I was open the window, but they're, I hear, a lawn equipment. I got woken up by my buddy's cat. I love kitties. What kind of sickness? Bipolar good? Not the bipolar sickness. No, it's just a weird nausea. It's really, really strange. It's like, it's so, like, debilitating. Why is my fan turning on? There we go. But then it goes away. I've been having the same since yesterday. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. And it's like, I don't vomit, but like, you know, when you feel like you're about to vomit, so it's like your throat gets really, really hot and like salivating. Like that's what it starts doing, you know? But, how are you guys today? How are you guys doing? I've not popped up my chat. My glasses are not on, so just give me a second. Bear with me here. Our dear poor Tasato, our poor dog, the class pet, you guys, is going under surgery for the first time today, and he's very nervous, so we're here as a live stream to cheer him on, you know? I realize when there are times in life where you're pretty helpless otherwise, because like there's nothing really we can do. The best thing we can do is hopefully cheer people up, you know what I mean? Poor Tasato, exactly. Hello Caleb, how are you doing? Did you take any medicine? I don't even know what to address it. I don't even know how to address it, you know what I mean? I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Do I take ibuprofen? You know what I mean? I've had exactly that with migraines, dizzy, and tunnel vision. I'm not getting the dizzy and not really the migraines. It's really weird. It feels like a stomach bug. We pray for Tasato. Exactly. Where's our Christians in chat? You know? let's do a group prayer for Tasato. Good, I've got like 15 minutes to get ready. Hell yeah, Caleb. How's you're working today? It is a Friday. Good morning, I just woke up. Did you take any medicine? I did. Blanket mode. Yes, blanket mode. Leaf, that blue looks cute. Yeah, Leaf is the moderator, our head moderator, Leaf, and the YouTube side of things. It's funny, I always said about modding you and like passing, but I never thought it was actually gonna come through. Keep your fluids up. Yeah, I have tea right here and I have some water. Oh, and I've had like no appetite. I did just eat a breakfast burrito because I'm like, oh, I should eat a breakfast burrito. You know what I mean? I should eat before stream, but I wasn't really hungry, and I'm like, I'm not even hungry for my energy drink, you know? I forget all the prayers they taught me in grade school. I can't even speak today. I can lead a prayer if needed. Sure, Kancho, sure, if you really like to. I think that'd be cute. But yeah, so how are you guys been? It's uncharacteristically early for me, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the early streams. It's just like, I will say it was, I don't know if anybody noticed, it was supposed to be at 6 I had this stream, but I went for a walk last night and I guess I lost track of time, because it was like 8:45 that I realized it was that late, and I came back, I'm like, there's no way I'm waking up that early, you know what I mean? How's your Friday going? It's going pretty good. I'm a little nervous for little Tasato surgery, all things considered. I lose like half my fan base if we lose Tasato, you know what I mean? So I am a little nervous in that regard, but I've gone through the surgery. I think I'm nervous because like when I almost like died, it was a what's it called? A nasal surgery. So that's why I'm a little paranoid about it. You know what I mean? I like the early streams too. Yeah, I really do. I still have a bit of work to do as far as my business goes. But once I kind of clear all this up, I would like to do at least morning streams. Beep beep. Yeah, that was my text tone actually. My notification. Hello, Mission CeeLo. How are you doing? I'm tired, but I can't sleep more because of this cat. Yeah, cats are kind of like, I like them to pieces, but God, do they keep you up. I'm gonna be ready. I don't want to be late. Also, I thought this was in the 15th. Was the 15th? Caleb, what on earth are you talking about? Group hugs. Don't worry, I can become delusionally dedicated in place of Tasato. Okay, but can you go out in public with my Dakimakura and not wear a mask, not wear a hat, not hide your identity whatsoever, and provide us content? Alright, we come before you, God, and we thank you that you're watching over Tasato in surgery. Pretend my eyes are closed. Let the doctors know what to do, and may we see Tasato healthy again when done. In your name, amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Concho. I appreciate it. I'm on a learning, so not useful trip. I'm on a I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. Amen. Will you take care of yourself? Oh, she's setting prayers for toast. Hell yeah. I can do that. I sold my shame to Uncle Sam. Okay. We'll see if we can do a resume. I'm on the bus right now. That's exciting. You're headed to school. It's a Friday. I hope you feel good today. Learning something not useful. Obsession bender. Okay. Interesting. I need to put on my socks. But I do like the early morning streams, and I would like to get to a point. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I really miss my treadmill streams. I really do. And it really sucks because I think like sometimes when I'm wearing like this big fluffy jacket of mine and fluffy pants, I don't pick up my legs when I'm walking. So when I sit down at my computer, my monitor flickers. So it's like, I think it's the static. You know what I mean? Managed to pass my finals. Hell yeah. There's not a better relief in this world than passing them. Pours out some liquor for the homies. You got this, Tasato. Exactly. $5. Thank you, my dear Dark Virus. Treadmill streams were peak. They really were. And it's like, I remember I did have that one that worked just fine. It just hurt my hands. I might just have to deal with that. It's better than nothing. Either that or just get like a fucking a third one and just do a very low power walking pad to where it's like, maybe I can't run. You know what I mean? My friend says she loves your model. Thank you. Thank you. About to eat breakfast? Hell yeah. What are you eating for breakfast, Stargazer? My headphones are about to die. Rest in peace, gluten-free acrylic paint. You know? I'm getting obsessed with languages and making plushies. That's really cool. That is really cool. I'd like to eventually learn Japanese some more, but plushies making is fun. The exercise stream was fun. It really was. And it's like, I'd like to do that more. But I have to find a schedule that works for me. Good morning, M14 Wolf. How are you doing? You know, because yeah, I just have like, I'm remaking all my business files. Well, not all of them. Like, I think I have to remake like 25 of them. And I'm editing the artwork. Can you say, I love Tasato? I love Tasato. Oh, brother. Guys, not gonna lie, I'll do anything for cash, so... There you go. There you go, Dark Virus, and thank you, my dear. Yeah, there's something wrong with my chat on my screen. You don't really see it because I'm hiding it, but it keeps saying I need to sign in. You okay, chat? Japanese Shio. I don't know what exactly you're saying, but something about the Japanese language, maybe, Lethal Pawn. I need to turn the brightness down. I'm scared if someone sees me watching this. Anime is mainstream nowadays. You don't have to worry about being judged. You know what I mean? Oh, brother. You really don't. And you should be more confident, you know? If people see you watching something like this, just say like, hey, this VTuber knows me by name and is my friend. What now? You know? Use me for clout chasing. my whopping 10K followers. Use me for clout. I was wondering if I could have help or advice. There's this Chinese poem that I'd love to turn into a wall poster, but I can't find anyone who does. The second was making good plushies. Good plushies is really hard to give advice for because it just comes with times. It comes with time because you're gonna have to learn as like, because like I'm a designer, I'm not like, I don't actually sew them with my hands, I'm a designer, so it's like you have to learn the ins and outs of the plushie material and what a human can make with that. And I will say it is just one of those things that like you have to just do it and you'll figure it out along the way, you know what I mean? I hate my bus driver. Why is that? Nihongo musukashi yo. I see. No, I'll use this to be parasocial. Hell yeah. A dude in my class said I'm cringe for playing Mahjong Soul since his anime characters. Yeah, he's cringe. Look at him. You know, he doesn't have friends on the internet like you do. You know what I mean? What a foolish thing to say. Anime is so mainstream. I could understand if it was back in like, I don't know, whatever, 2010. But how corny and cringe, you know? I'm sitting next to the football boys. I will be bullied. As long as they don't physically touch you, you should be fine, you know? You know, just gotta say this VTuber's a real Navy veteran. Exactly. I've been through hell and back. These kids don't understand, you know what I mean? Just say you're supporting a real Navy veteran. There you go. The problem is I cannot say that. But I don't know, also, I'm not very big in posters, but your best bet is probably to find a wall scroll manufacturer. And maybe a gold foil stamping manufacturer. That might be your best bet. Bus finally leaving, hell yeah. No, the thing is himself is watch anime. Oh, okay, then he's just dumb. He just braided. That's the problem with children, and that's why it's like I kind of like, especially for the Discord, I'm gonna eventually do it like 18 plus, because kids are just dumb. You know what I mean? It's just like they contradict each other. They don't even have sense, you know. Hope your day goes well, Chaos. I'm off for a walk. Hell yeah. Exercising this early in the morning. Hell yeah. I really want to walk again. That was so fun, kids. You know what I mean? I've been in a number of good positions where people actually listen to me explaining VTubers and they actually roll with it. It's a very understandable thing. Sent 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, my dear Dark Virus. Thank you, my dear. A Lesser Alcarin, that's a good name that we know. 10 Sorrows, Swap Pony, Mr. Snazzy, and Lethal Pond. Wow. Lethal Pond was literally just in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but he was. But thank you, my dear Dark Virus. You'll find this crazy. So Corey in the Corey Station dude tried to stab the motherfucker X of the quarterdeck and then tried to hijack the duty man. Was he military or was he civilian? That's kind of crazy. Yo, hell yeah. Hell yeah, you guys unlock a whopping singular emote. Thank me later. I need to do more members content, you know, but I really never know what to do for members content. But eventually I'll be able to get to a point where I can focus a little bit more. Wouldn't kanji be easy for an artist like you? Not necessarily, because like there's like an order in which the strokes need to be done. And there's so many kanji, you know, pretty much for every like proper noun and verb and etc. So it is kind of hard. I got my tea nice and made. Nice one, hell yeah. Military, that's interesting. Do you know anything about him, what his rate was or anything like that? Because that is kind of crazy. I might give it a go. I'm good at motion sickness. I might have to go. I'm good at motion sickness. That's fair. Protect your health. You know what I mean? That is kind of crazy. I got a 76 in chemistry. I'm cooked. Maybe. Meanwhile, I'm at work in the office listening to my sweet goddess. You're at office work today, Dark Virus? We're in the trenches. You know what I mean? I'll be back. See you later, that one leave. Plus, there's an expectation of beautiful calligraphy style, which is not as easy as seems. Yeah. There's a lot of effort and pressure on the weight of the pen and the ink pen itself. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a little bit more to calligraphy. I'm kind of like an illustrator. So it's like I actually in real life I have really, really bad handwriting. Believe it or not, it's pretty bad. What the hell just happened? Hold on. It's just one of those things. See you later. See you later, gluten-free acrylic. But I really did enjoy the walking stream, so I gotta figure out a way to do that again. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I've been redoing a lot of my files because I went through this era of my artwork where for whatever reason, like one of the most impactful parts of my illustrations, my little chibis, is that I put this very thick black border around my artwork. And for some reason, I didn't do that for like 6 or 7 months, and I printed it that way, and it looks out of place for my artwork, so I'm editing that artwork back to add the border, and it's taking more time than expected. But Chinese characters and handwriting English are 2 different things. Yeah, but it's still, there's a lot of effort and pressure on like where you place the pressure on the Chinese strokes. You know what I mean? So I've been working on that. I've been, oh, for the 6 billionth time, I don't know if you guys saw. Oh yeah, hold on, let me transfer the file up. I changed the color palette again on my model. For whatever reason, I just cannot stick to an idea, but I'd love to know you guys' opinion on this. Hold on. I gotta send this over. I don't know what compels me to constantly change my my color palette, which God, when I compare the two of them, I don't even know which one I like better actually still. What ideas are you looking for? It's not really an idea, it's more like I'm just curious. I do like both of them. I think both of them are fine. Oh, I'm just gonna literally pop this up real quick. All right, here's my original color palette. It's with the green. And then I switched it out of nowhere to this one, which is a blue color palette. I kind of like the blue more, a lot more. But I like both of them, really. You know what I mean? I can see you're suffering with the colors now, though. I thought you were just bipolar, but no, you do have a point. Yeah, it really sucks. It sucks. And it's like the perfectionism of knowing which one I want exactly is driving me up the wall. Love the new color palette. Thank you. I do too, because it's like the only thing. And hello, Howdy. How are you doing, Howdy? From all the artist VTubers up and around, it usually comes down to vision, wanting what you created to match that vision. Yeah. And hello, Korma VA. I like your avatar's colors. The pics, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Nice navy blue color. Yeah, it's like the navy. First of all, it's kind of like it communicates the navy. You know what I mean? And I do like the cool colors a bit better. I think the green is a little too harsh, but it just sucks because, like, again, like there are sometimes I have a very rough personality and a very masculine personality, and so that kind of fits the green more. But then sometimes I'm more calm, so it fits the blue more. Hello, Mies, man. How are you doing? Real good looking, lurking as always. Thank you, my dear Howdy. So all the changes make sense. Yeah, so it's just kind of one of those... It's kind of one of those things. I do like the blue, and also another thing, I do want to... I'm kind of future-proofing with my design, because, like, if I do a more monochromatic color palette, like the blue one, I can do, like, my backgrounds can be more bluish, so it's like snow... galaxy stuff, night stuff, sky stuff. So it's like I can kind of keep that color palette all similar to where it's like right away you'll be able to detect that it's like my product, you know what I mean, my streams. It's kind of like Marine from Hololive. Everything about her is that like deep red with like a few extra accents, and so right away like you can see a Marine's thumbnail from like a mile away because it's so monochromatic, you know. Said you're military, maybe you can look at most East Asian Navy uniforms. At one point, I've absolutely lost my mind. Let me see if I can find my Navy uniform. I did make like a kind of pseudo officer Navy uniform at one point, but the problem is, and I think the worst part about this is I don't want to lock myself into a specific niche. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want military to be my entire personality, because I'm assuming when people see military content, they're assuming I'm gonna be playing like military games and stuff like that, but that's not the case whatsoever. You know what I mean? Why is it every time I log into Twitter, I have to log in? You guys, I want to be a military audience VTuber the next day. You know what I mean? I can't make up my mind. But so I do like my military audience. I do, but I just don't want to make that my entire personality. Because like there are some like VTubers who weren't even in the military, and I'm like, they're more of a military VTuber than I am, you know? I'm just gonna lurk so I can understand the vibe. Okay, I appreciate it. At this point, you can have a toggle to change colors. I really can, except the shading will be slightly off, which I'm not a big fan of. But I kind of need to know, because I need to forwardly make merch with this design. You know what I mean? Alright, let me see if I can find that military uniform of mine. We're trying to make our way to Rich Kaoza. Exactly. I cannot stop changing my mind. And it's like, even now, I really don't know what I want to project myself as. Like, what type of content creator, you know what I mean? Look in the Taoist mythology and find a character. But I'm not too much into religion and spiritualism. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you mean, but I don't want it. I also don't want it over-designed like a Genshin character. I want something rather simple. Alright, here was when I did the military one. And which I still can technically do a toggle for. down the road, because I like the way this uniform turned out. Hold on, put this here. But this was like my military one. So it was like a mixture of like the working uniform and an officer color palette and the Navy color palette. I mean, to be fair, the two VTubers I do like that are specific militaries, one's like cute Uma, Army Sergeant, and the other one's like an over-the-top Navy one. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't... Actually, for the longest time, I didn't even mention I was in the military, because I have been doing content creation for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And I didn't even mention it. I just mentioned it because of, let me move this out the way. It was hard to talk about my past history without mentioning it, you know what I mean? I might still make that one at some point. The military one. OMG the drip, hell yeah. The ideas of giving are based off the vibe your avatar you currently have. Yeah, and that doesn't really fit my personality, and that's kind of like what the issue is that like, this character I made, the KO is a character with my full like Shrine Maiden outfit, that was an OC I had, and I couldn't think of another design, so I just took her and turned her into a VTuber. You know, she'll stay the same as the Shrine Maiden, but I'm trying to like, the Shrine Maidenness doesn't really fit me as a person, you know what I mean? It kind of does, like in a Reimu sense of the way where she's kind of like nihilistic, but it's like, it's really hard to kind of like come up with something that fits me. You know what I mean? Gives Dark Virus an apple. You're so funny, Dark Stargazer. So I'm kind of like, you know, I don't really know. I don't really know which one I want to do, but I think for sure I do like the lighter blue one. I'll put this over here. But this is like my 4th or 5th time I have changed my VTuber design. Because like I will say it is kind of hard to figure out exactly what I want to do. Alright, let me delete this one. My buddy's other cat has to come sit on my lap and purr. That's really cute. Cats are the greatest. I almost joined Navy ROTC in college to go on a sub side, not just both my knees are screwed up. They may have not have let you just because of the fact that your knees were messed up. But that makes sense. Offhand, military undercover as a Shrine Maiden comes to mind as an option. Yeah, but I mean, I already have the Shrine Maiden outfit, so it's like, I know what you mean, but I'm also not very undercover. Branding is definitely one of the most difficult things to nail down, but once you find it fits, everything just falls in place. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, to me, I do like the sky colors, and I do like the night colors. So I'm like, this kind of goes with that theme a little bit easier. And I will say it does, to me, it looks kind of cool that everything on her outfit is like cools, like cool colors. And then her eyes are bright, like yellow, orange. So it makes them pop better with this method. The default option I have to choose when I can't decide is a shapeshifter, but that's really kind of hard for branding because, like, remember, I want to brand myself as a VTuber and grow, and so a brand is very, very important. Hold on. Ah, my tea is really strong today. Good lord. Shout out to Black Tea, I think. So that's what makes it so hard, is because, like, you know, I want to be able to make, you know, possible toys out of this design. I want to make keychains. I want to make acrylic standees. I can make clothes. I can make all different stuff. I could even make technically like digital models that people could use. So it's like a shapeshifter doesn't really make that very easy. Because, like, for example, like Gura's design was really well done. It was very simple, very monochromatic, and from like, if you had no glasses on, which I'm blind without glasses, if you had no glasses on, you could see it from like a mile away because it was very, very distinct. So Gura's model was one of the most like successful VTuber models pretty much ever made because it was so like perfect. It was easy to draw. It was cute. You know, it wasn't too erotic. It was very like charming. And so that's what made it so you know, successful. So that's why it's like I gotta think of something. But I will say I do kind of like this bluer design. I do like blue a lot. It is my favorite color, you know, or at least one of them. I think I might play some Switch. Poor Tasato right now is getting his nose absolutely obliterated in surgery. Can you believe that? I think he has a really severe deviated septum. Hold on. I'm always afraid you guys can hear me whenever I can swallow. I miss my shark VTuber. Yeah, it's very... It's very mysterious why people leave cover, you know? It is very interesting, because to me it sounds like a dream come true, you know what I mean? So it's like, it must be something significant that people keep leaving cover. Ouch, deviant septums are not fun. Yeah, and supposedly his is pretty bad, and it was broken as a child, so they're like fixing that right now. Don't worry, I'll be real quick with my delusion to be in memory of Tasato in the stream. Okay, okay, Communist Crusader. Okay. I had an idea for a story of mine to have a teller of stories to be a skull-shaped door knocker. That's very interesting. You're a very creative person, Mission. All things considered. I think I'm gonna bust out the Switch too. Dark Virus, I don't know if you're still here. It is so funny. You're going through my old streams for just content to listen to, and like you keep posting clips about it in the Discord, and how different I was back then than what I am now. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Alright, let's see what Switch games we have. We have a few options. Get this screenshot out the way. Hold on. Dark Virus is killing it with the clips right now. I don't know if I'd really say killing it. Because he's always picking ones that make me look certainly interesting to say the least, you know? But he's doing something for sure. There we go. Oh yeah, I was looking at this Rudolph game. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my chat. You see how it says sign in? Oh, brother. Any estimate time of how long the surgery will take? I think it's probably going to take about 90 minutes. 90 minutes for dear Tasato. Because they're just doing so much. We all know KO's the best. She's so utterly patient with everyone. Totally my wife too, absolutely. Hell yeah, I am patient. I am patient. You know? Hi Kay, hi Bubble is tired. How are you doing? Yeah, I was looking at this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game. That might be an option technically. Alright, we got Fox Simulator we can play. We've got... Hold on. The Fox one looks kind of fun. Little Friends, where it's like a Nintendogs ripoff. What should we do? Doing okay, just making Yu-Gi-Oh decks right now. Yeehaw! That sounds exciting. Let me move that up a little bit. They actually made a Rudolph game. That's how you play... How would you play that? Not be bummed you know the story in the first place? I don't know. You know, so that's why low-key... Sometimes these wacky games are actually kind of fascinating. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, how the hell are they pulling this off? Duck game. The duck game. I think that's better on a computer. Which, speaking of which, my model froze for a second. My computer is good to go. I just need to... I don't have time to set it up yet. Fortnite Battle Pass. Fortnite. My understanding was that Cover was pushing too hard for some talents to be idols rather than streamers. But that's interesting because, like, to me, it's like... I guess is that a bad thing? Maybe it's probably not what they signed up for because I guess there is a big difference. But I kind of always... Hold on, pop out chat. Assumed, like, Cover wants idols. You know what I mean? Kim Kardashian. I saw that! I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. Shout out to Kim Kardashian going into Fortnite. I saw her emo. It was the one where she loses her diamonds in the ocean. And I'm like, this is hilarious. I think this is pretty good, actually. I'm gonna go, see you later, Goku the Black Man. But not yay. So if you really think about it, Kim Kardashian being in there is kind of like a Kanye reference. You know, if you kind of squint. So it really makes you think. You know, Kanye reference in Fortnite. What decks? Hell yeah, on the computer. I know. I just haven't had time to, like, set it up because I've been working. Bye, Goku Black the Man. Yeah, I think Fauna and others want to be more video game streamers versus singers and idols. I see. That's what I've kind of heard too. Ooh. Fortnite is what you get when you combine Team Fortress 2 and Minecraft. I could see that. Kirby's Dream Buffet. We have Tetris, of course. Suika. I was really obsessed with this game when I got my Switch 2, and it just kind of died off. I know there's a new version of Suika coming out that I can't wait to play. If I was ever a VTuber, I wouldn't want to be an idol. I can't sing very well. Yeah, it's like definitely something that I kind of thought was a prerequisite for HoloLive, is singing. And then it just kind of died off. I know there's a new version of Suika coming out that I can't wait to play. If I was ever a VTuber, I wouldn't want to be an idol. I can't sing very well. Yeah, it's like definitely something that I kind of thought was a prerequisite for HoloLive, is singing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you think about it, like, I can't think of a single talent from them that can't sing, you know? Would you say your game would be Monopoly? Monopoly? I don't think I've even ever played this game, I'm not gonna lie. I just bought it because it was on sale one time. That's kind of how I feel still. Yeah, it's like, to me, it's like, Hololive kind of wants the top of the top. And so it makes sense they're gonna want someone who can sing. My speculation was covers going public that they're upping the workload on the members, with some just want to be streamers, don't like flying to Japan constantly. I could also see, I'm gonna try out this just for background noise, this little fox simulator game. Fitting since I'm a fox. But I can see France. I forgot my train of thought. I did hear a lot like they're kind of pushing numbers and stuff like that. Like for example, like them having to move to Twitch. Like I don't want to say, like, to me, if I was forced to move to Twitch, it would be a deal breaker, but I'd be pretty upset if I had to move to Twitch, you know what I mean? All right, how's this audio sounding? Not bad. It's a little loud on my end. Foxes are great. I love foxes a lot. In my opinion, Fortnite became successful because its unique art style and goofiness compared to other battle royale games which try to be too serious. Yeah, so it's like Fortnite was really popular with just its own characters because it's a pretty good game. But then I always thought in the beginning, I was like, it'd be so funny if they just do random IPs. And honestly, the random IPs have been the bread and butter of the game. Because again, like, imagine you just get shot in the head by Eminem. You know? You just get blown up by Kim Kardashian. Peter Griffin just literally, like, murks you. Fantastic, you know what I mean? This game looks cute. It really does. It's like a game where it's like there's not a lot of dialogue and you just run around as a fox. And I think there is a specific thing you're supposed to do, but I'm not really sure. Let me make myself a tiny bit smaller. I thought that Fortnite started as a zombie survival game. Really? I did not know that. I did not know it was a zombie survival game. I put myself a little smaller. There you go. Whoever made Fortnite had the same mindset as the Pineapple Pen dude. That is true. KO is a simulator. Exactly. Alright, let me move this a little bit more. Sorry, I'm still getting all my stuff together. Move it. Alright, that'll do. So now I can't stop. Fortnite has so many IPs, it's got me into it. Naruto with guns. Yeah, exactly. Miku with guns. You know, that's kind of crazy. Oh, I gotta make the screen a little smaller for me, lol. I forgot my motion sickness. KO, nothing is working on my laptop. Is it a Chromebook? I have to make these, like, screens so tiny to be able to play them. Hold on. KO on our way to buy donuts. Give me a second. I'm dying, you guys. I'm dying. There we go. No, I hate Chromebook. That's fair. I'm dying. Look at the cute little fox, though. He can jump. And he can bark. Very cute. And what does this do? I think this is a tail wag. Fox Simulator. Very cute. You're good? Yeah, just sometimes, like, I have that whole cough thing. No, it's just my laptop decided no longer wants to work. That sucks. Forgot about the motion sickness. Yeah, usually if I make the... Like, for example, when I was playing that room game... What is it? It was like the endless hallway. I just make the screen as small as possible and I can sit back, actually. I'll probably sit back a little bit better. So as long as it's like... Like, for example, I can play first-person, like, shooter games on mobile because the phone is small enough. But if it's a big screen, it messes me up. So two genres people haven't thought about combining would work merge. Fortnite and Team Fortress 2 plus Minecraft. I don't know. That's a good question. I know I'm supposed to be heading somewhere. Can you watch 3D animated movies? I can. It's just, I think it's like an ear sickness where if the screen is moving and my body isn't moving, it sends like a disconnect that makes me like literally sick. I don't know why. But yeah, I can watch 3D movies and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It's like for video games specifically. Like, for example, I do want to make I made that clip of that one time I got motion sickness on the hamburger game. But, I want to make a bigger clip so I can put it into like a YouTube video. But when I was even editing that, what's it called? The video, I was getting sick. Thank you for the $5, Mickey. Mickey the Mute. I love how you're living up to the name. Being mute. I appreciate it. So you're fine if you play third-person shooter games? So whatever motion is this? Is this third person? Or is this first person? Either way, it's like whenever things are moving, it's what makes me sick. But if I make the screen really, really small, it doesn't have that issue as much. I'm sorry to hear that. It's fine. You win some and you lose some in life, you know? I could be born with like a missing arm, but instead I'm just like slightly allergic to video games. I'll take it. You know, you can't have all the good cards in life. I'll take it. I don't really have very many down negative things, negative traits. Or at least I don't perceive them as negative. So I'm pretty chillin'. I think I'm supposed to head this direction, but like look how cute this little game is. Group hugs for KOs of 2. Oh god. Stargazer, you're funny. How is your life doing? I hope it's doing better. I know you're kind of struggling for a while. This kind of gives me the vibe of Okami. Which I did want to play that again, but I didn't. I like the way it like jumps like that. I didn't want to do all the storyline. So the fact that this one has like, I think again like the whole purpose of this specific game is it has no dialogue. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic for me. Got my deposit back yesterday. Hell yeah, that's good. Have you considered the military option still? Like how's your whole job doing? Hey, he can climb pretty high. Look at the little guy. Look how cute he is. Foxes are literally the cutest animal. Next to cats. Cats are... Damn, I don't know which one's cuter, cats or foxes. Cute. I know, right? Foxes are great. And the music's very peaceful. Good God. Oh! The VA finally put in a referral for my ENT appointment, so hopefully I can get that scheduled soon. They said I could call in a few days to get that scheduled to get a look at my throat. Which way should I go? This is tough. This is like Genshin Impact, but with foxes. Uh-oh. I will say that was one of the most exciting updates for Genshin when that, what was it, something spine? Dragon spine or something? The winter area? That was so much fun. But don't tell me this turns out like Echo the Dolphin. I don't know Echo the Dolphin. It's alright, gonna use the deposit to fix my van and grandparents have to use it to drive to places so I'm no longer limited to remote work. That's good. So you still have not found a job, is what you're saying. I don't know if I just turned around, unfortunately. I wasn't paying attention. BRB, see you later. If you want an animal that's part cat and dog, look no further than a bunny. Oh god. The bunnies. Bunnies are cute, but sometimes when they're like too cute, it's too much for me. Ooh, A. Hell yeah. We got Stick. That's cute. Did you pass a dead human body? Did I really? I don't know. Explain why the staff is just kind of here chilling. Dragon spine, there we go. Everything is breaking on my laptop for real. Bunnies have more... Oh, I thought you said ass for a second. Sass than cats. Bunnies are cute though. They're adorable but very high maintenance. Yeah, and I do like the low maintenance kind of lifestyle of a cat. I literally forget I have cats sometimes until they pop up and I'm like, wow, I have this. Morning stream, I know, rare. How are you doing, Corrupted Sonar? I'm playing Fox Simulator. Which is like, what was it originally called? Spirited something? When you were walking out of the cave, I saw something that looked like a dead person sitting down. I don't know. Oh, this thing. What the? It was a dead body. That's so funny. Okay. I'm so bad at video games. I didn't even see the dead body. Okay. Working, hell yeah. Alright, let's say hi to him. A. Oh! I wonder if this will bring him back to life. Okay. Look at that. Foxes are one of the top cutest animals. They really are. How are you doing, Stefan? Look, we resurrected him. I literally wouldn't have known what to do. God, I'm so bad at video games. Alright. Poor dude. I know. Okay, it says A, but I already pressed A. Maybe I'm done here. Now I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing, Jace the Ace? Aren't you in school? Oh god, all the kiddies are out. There's also another thing. All the kids are in school. I think you helped it passed on. Okay, okay. Like, spirited away. I'm doing pretty alright. That's good to hear. Fawn is so mysterious. You've been here for so long, but you're so mysterious. Doing alright, minus the lag. Alright, JC, it's good to hear. Foxes bark, they do. They yap, they like do like this yipping sound. That's why Ghost of Tsushima is the best game. It allows you to follow and pet foxes. That is cute. I'm in school, but I finished my crap. Okay, am I going the right way? Oh god, I almost fell off the hill. Bro needs to get up and grind. Being dead is no excuse, you know what I mean? That generation. That generation. Are you aware of the Russian fox experiments? I don't think so. What is that? Hold on, I'm moving my microphone a little bit. So that's the sound a fox makes. It is. It's a little guy. Foxes are cute. Sometimes it's a little higher pitched too. It's like a little yip. Have you guys ever heard coyotes? I was biking one day and there was a coyote in the street and god, it sucked because like I had to pull over and I was waving cars down because like they could see me before the coyote because dude, the coyote's like matching with the scenery around here in Vegas. And I was like trying to like wave them down so they wouldn't hit the poor guy. But the guy was just lollygagging in the street and it was so stressful and he was just like screaming. He's like, it was so vocal. He ended up getting off to the more brush kind of way. So he kind of ran off. You know? What the? Hold on. My chat is so annoying sometimes. I gotta refresh. What the? You remember that sound? What does the fox say? I do vaguely remember that. I refresh my chat. Laugh. Exactly. There's an experiment where Russians, they bred a bunch of foxes to domesticate them. The domesticated foxes changed physically. What did they change physically about? That's kind of cool. It is very interesting how like certain things with... My YouTube is freaking out right now. They change, like for example, uh-oh. What the? Hold on. Alright, there we go. How about chat? Like when you get a male cat fixed, it gets really skinny around the face. Like you can tell if a male cat is unfixed because it has a very, very round, like fat chin, like neck, and fat little cheeks. They turn more dog-like. That's interesting. Okay. I'm doing something here. Oh, it's a little spirit fox in the background. That was a very flawed experiment. Really, was it? What was flawed about it, though? It's kind of cool. The fox experiments. What do you mean fix? So to like remove the male cat's like reproductive system. That's usually what it means to like fix an animal. Hey. Alright. I guess we'll go this way. I wonder if we can die. Did we try jumping off? Maybe. What's the worst that could happen? I wonder if it'll allow us to even jump off. Fixed or neutered. It means balls get snip. Yeah. So it's like for cats, I think they remove. What is it? Is it just the ovaries? There's no way it's the uterus. I think it's just the ovaries. So it's like the Alright, I think I can jump off. So this guy had literally tried to prove his theory like a dozen times, only found the result that one time that there are estate foxes rather than any real natural changes. I see. That's the whole part that's kind of sucky about like science and stuff like that. It's like it can be biased and like research papers can be incredibly biased. Alright, let's run. Yeehaw! That was kind of exciting. Oh, this game is cute. This is such a cute little game. Spayed is for female animals. Yeah, it's like fixed / neutered for male. And then spayed. I wonder why they use different names. You know what I mean? Maybe the process. I I couldn't imagine getting my reproductive organs removed. I know my mom did. She actually had a cancer, a uterus cancer called endometriosis, and she had to get her uterus removed, you know? So I think by perhaps biological definition, because I think like female is like uterus, male is like testes. I think that way she's technically sexless now because she doesn't have a uterus. Yeah, and it was also being used to compare the headline to people who use raccoons, but it's also not true. Raccoons are very cute. I think foxes could easily be domesticated. It really sucks because when I was a kid, I really wanted to own one as a pet. But then I moved to Las Vegas, and it's like one of the only like states where you're banned from having a fox as a pet. And I'm like, that is so dumb. And it's like, we don't even really have foxes native here. We have some of them. I wonder if I could get an exotic pet license. I would get an exotic pet license to see if I could own a red fox. Imagine how cute that would be. But I will say I would be a little afraid if they're not compatible with cats. I would technically, I know foxes eat smaller animals. I wouldn't want obviously to hurt my cat. Like obviously my cat comes first. Pet foxes are things, yeah. They have become like relatively domesticated and friendly, and I know a lot of people actually who have pets or foxes as pets. Raccoons are evolving quickly. The urban ones anyway, they're getting smarter. What about a sugar glider? They're a little too small, and I believe they're nocturnal. And their cages kind of stink. You know what I mean? And I do like something like you can like hug, pick up, and cuddle. I, in theory, love small animals as pets, but I hate how they just like defecate on you like 24/7. Like anytime you pick up the animal, it is going to poop on you. It is going to poop on you, and I don't really like that. You know what I mean? So I do like bunnies and the fact that they can be litter box trained, which a wild pav. I wonder, are your bunnies what's it called? Litter box trained? Because I know some of them can be. Isn't Tasato your exotic pet? I think he's more like a domesticated like dog from the pound, you know what I mean? Like, you know the mixed breed when they're just like, they call it by the color, they're like, it's a brown dog, like that's Tasato. Hug, pick up, and cuddle. So an overweight and unemployed 40-year-old man. Okay, overweight, that indicates they're gonna have a high calorie diet, which means they're gonna be very expensive to like feed. So no, technically. Tasato is a rescue, exactly. Tasato is a rescue. He's a literal orphan. This game is so pretty, especially for Switch. You know? Like, look at this. What does that make me then? I don't know. I don't know. You know, okay, so you know sometimes when you're just like living in your house and you're just existing, and then like you see like a stray pet come to your door, and you're like, wow, that's weird. Let me get a little food for it. And then it keeps coming back like as the days go by. I feel like that's what you might be. I was joking. Oh, yeah. I take jokes and I like answer them like honestly sometimes, and that's my way of joking back. Switch 2. Yeah, I'm playing on Switch 2 right now. But this is a Switch 1 game. They use a litter box but also let them fly out and have their poops go everywhere. Oh god. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going though. I guess it's just like an exploration, take it easy kind of game. That makes sense, that tracks. You know what I mean? I just left food out for you once and you keep coming back and I'm like, you know what? you know how like you're like, you know, okay, you know how it's kind of like stressful because you're like, damn, now I'm responsible for this thing. Like not in a bad way, but you know what I mean? I hate it. I hate it when you see like a stray animal and then like you interact with it because like you want to, because like it's an animal, you want to protect it. But then like the sinking feeling comes in when you're like, I'm now responsible for this thing's safety. It is so stressful. I'd have a pair of kittens dropped off my doorstep when I was a kid. That's a classic story. Kittens are cute. I know when I used to live in Tennessee, here in Vegas, they have very, very, very strict neuter laws. I think it's like your pet can't be over the age of like 8 months and unfixed. Otherwise, they'll, what's it called? They'll fine you. So there's like no stray animals here, which is a great thing, especially because like we live in like the hellscape that is a desert. because they'd all just die in the summer, you know what I mean? So I actually do really appreciate our like super sterilization laws. What kind of games does your motion sickness prevent you from playing? It really is kind of like these types of games, but I have to make the window really small on my end. So it looks like a full screen obviously on you guys' end, but on my end the screen's really small. Good morning, how are you doing? Why did I show up to QTK talking about neutering? I don't know, that's a great question. I don't know how we kind of got onto this topic. But I do like it. I do like it because it really stops unwanted pet pregnancy. And we don't have little animals like, I will say in Tennessee, it's like you would see like dead cats on the side of the road everywhere because of the fact that there was no laws on keeping them not spayed. Hold on. Did your motion sickness affect you in the Navy? No, I was basically a glorified car mechanic for a car, but the car was an aircraft. So absolutely not. I didn't do any movement and I wasn't on a ship or anything like that. So no, I just had to make sure the planes were safe to fly and up to date with their software. So I never had to deal with the motion sickness. I do wonder though, because like moving in the game makes me sick and nauseous, I do wonder why I'm so fine with driving. I wonder if because like my gut can feel like the car moving and that's why I don't feel as bad. But I have zero problems driving. I can drive for like 6 or 7 hours and not feel anything. Cute shakes the water off. I know, this game's like really cute. I'm a little lost right now because I was kind of on a path. And I kind of lost that path now, but it's still a very cute game. A very good like background and yap kind of game. Okay, so here's where I was originally. Ever play Stray? I have not. I did want to play it though. Alright, let's jump off again. Alright, let's go this way. You can feel the road through your shoes when you drive. Ah, I could see that then. It is crazy. It's like, it's such a silly... it's such a silly debuff. It does suck in the regard that, like, I'm trying to be a streamer. And, like, literally the majority of video games I can't even play. But it's such a silly thing to, like, be allergic to video games, you know what I mean? Stray looks awesome. It really does. It looks like a cute little game. I enjoy Little Kitty Big City. I think I've heard of that game, too. Alright, let me try and focus and pretend to go in the right direction. Okay, maybe this is direction. I don't think I saw this. Stray was sci-fi in its own way. I think the Fox one is going to be spiritual. Yeah, I think this is called, like, Spirit of the North or something. So it is kind of like that way. Hello again, you have your long artist-style gloves on like usual, Alec Day. I do. I do. Thanks for noticing. That was a very specific thing to notice. But how are you doing, Alec Day? It's cold as F in my buddy's apartment. Do you guys not have heat? There's nothing better than a good heater blanket. A good heater blanket when it's cold. I've been sleeping, I got a weighted blanket for like anxiety reasons like a long time ago. And then I realized it makes the perfect winter blanket. So, I can keep the temperature in the room at like 65 and not be fine. I'll return. Welcome back, That One Leave. How are you doing? It's cold in my basement, but I got an electric blanket. Oh, that's so comfortable sounding. Like getting under a nice warm blanket is so nice. Just Alec is fine. Okay. That's good to hear, Alec. Alec Day 3775. He just likes it cold. I see. I know when I'm chunkier, like when I'm up in my weight, I like it much colder. But when I'm in a skinny era, I like it much warmer. What game is this? I think it's called Spirit of the North. Spirit of the North, that's correct. It's just like a little Fox game. And it's like, what's perfect for me is there's no dialogue. So I don't have to read anything. But I also don't know where to go. Also not sure if it's intended, but we can see the sign and button of chat. It's not. I don't know. It won't go away. So I think it might just be for this. It might be a glitch for this stream specifically. I don't know though. An idea for an animal game. What about an animal who gets trapped in time-traveled misadventures? That sounds stressful. Have you created... You have a lot of ideas, Mission Silo. Have you created anything before? Because I know there's like a plague that kind of happens to people where they have a bunch of ideas, but they don't ever like take any of them and put them into some sort of action. So I do wonder, what is your experience with that? It does sound great, right? Perfect for me. Fox Simulator, cute, nice blue colors. I don't have to read any dialogue. There was a guy and we resurrected him. Or we sent his spirit, we like released his spirit to this guy. And now I don't know what to do. Downside, my buddy's cat, I'm slightly allergic to them. Oh yeah, I'm allergic to cats too. Whenever I come in contact with a new cat, oh god. You should try to stay skinny as much as possible. It's actually better for you to be at a healthy weight than to be fat. Agreed, agreed. I agree. It is kind of hard sometimes. I keep myself in kind of like a healthy range of fat. Like of weight, I mean. But it's very interesting because it's like I can fluctuate like within the last 10 years, not 10 years, I cannot speak numbers ever. 2 years, I've kind of fluctuated between 120 and 130. But I can literally feel a physical difference when I get to 130. Thank you, Mickey the Mew, for the $5. I appreciate it. Try following the path. The little wall you turn back in seemed destructible, but how would I... Unless my bark can break it down. We'll see. I want a cat so badly. They're great. I'm not gonna lie, they're great. everything you've ever dreamed in a cat, that's a cat. But thank you, my dear Mickey. I appreciate it. Every time I pursue my ideas, somehow crisis happens and throws everything off. But still, you have to, like, unrelentingly continue the path and journey that is life. You know? You can't give up. If I had given up a long time ago, like, I would have not have even had the opportunity to stream, you know? So you gotta think of an idea and stick with it. I think it's a great thing that you're a very creative individual. I have 2 black cats. I love kitties. What are their names? I love hearing kitties' names. That one leaf has a cat named Cookie. That's so funny. I trust in the cat distribution system. That's why I take long walks at night. Aww, the little baby. I love the kitties. Alright, let's try this again. I don't give those out. Okay, okay. You don't have to give out the cat names. Don't worry. Okay, I see what you mean though. It does look like... But all I can do is bark and wag my tail. I love my little Cookie. She despises my mother, lol. Okay, bark. Jump. You see what I mean? You gotta remember, it's easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Exactly. It's really hard. Like, the path of being a creative individual who actually creates is very hard. You know, you have to stick with your gut. Because a lot of the path is riddled with doubt. You know what I mean? Not only from other people, but yourself as well. Maybe go to the other direction of the path. We'll try that. I need backseat gamers, you guys. I can't game on my own. Ugh. Why does this tea taste so strong today? Nope, that's not it. Bring back the era of girls not even playing the video game, just giving commentary. That's what I'm here for today, hell yeah. I wonder if I can jump up here. You also need to adapt if it affects you. If what affects you? I'm a little, as far as, like, doubt? Like, the one time I did a Cthulhu summoning ritual to prove my friend's spirits aren't real, only ended up having poltergeist activity haunting my house. I don't really believe in all of that. All things considered. I don't believe in the death and spiritual, I guess you could say. Where is... Okay, I can't jump up here then. The content creation thing. Oh, yeah. Exactly. It's like I can almost jump up here, but not quite. Oh, wait a minute. This is where I jumped off. Okay, Howdy. Hello, Vinyl West. How are you doing? Yeah, being an artist, and that's why I do think it's a double-edged sword. Anybody can create, anyone can make artwork, but artists are very resilient but also sensitive people. You know what I mean? Because it does take a lot of mental pressure to put yourself out there to be perceived. And this era, with people, like, this is a path. In this era where people think art now is content, they're like, oh, I don't like this content. I don't like this trash. And they just kind of, like, immediately, like, you know. I see many people used to watch I see maybe people I used to watch change how they make videos by either video time, edit style, and just times jokes. Yeah. You gotta evolve or just stand straight in like what you want to do. Go the other way. I came from that way. I will say I came from that way. That's the only issue. Also, I see things in a way people around don't, and that causes a lot of conflict and chaos. Are you schizophrenic? I do ask because I personally have had visual hallucinations before. But, you know, you gotta stick with something and, you know, create. I recommend everybody to create. Because, like, look, it looks like the perfect path right here. And then it's just blocked off because, like, look, this is a path that leads to the wall. Look at you already knowing where to go. No, just very creative. ADHD. Okay. So you gotta stick with something then. You know, and you gotta know that you have limitations with your ADHD, so you shouldn't spend a whole lot of time on like places like social media because it's too addicting and it's gonna fry your brain literally. I'd love to see you create something. Today's stream, local fox gets lost in the wilderness. I know. If you follow the path the other direction, there might be something. Okay, let's try that. Chose a bad time to go for a walk. They're hauling and spreading chicken litter. What the hell is chicken litter? What's this? We're playing this game called Spirit of the North. It's just a little fox game with no dialogue. So I like it. I like to see other people paint style of model miniatures I painted myself. Yeah. Creativity is a lot of fun. Art is a luxury that I adore. I have a drawing that I paid someone from Chile. It wasn't the best, but I cherish it all the same. Yeah. Art definitely is a luxury. And people, again, kind of the fact that we are losing touch with things. People think like art is a like a need nowadays. Like it's something that everybody deserves. Like absolutely not. You know, because like if you can't afford art, you can't afford to consume it. You can't afford to indulge in it. You gotta create it yourself. You know, that's how life works. Assault alternative, I guess. Okay, see, this is where we started that one, Leaf. We came from this way. Hold on. There are artists who think slapping a banana to the wall with duct tape is art when there's zero creativity. Agreed, but there's like social commentary art. I think it, don't get me wrong, I think it's silly. I think it's silly as hell. There's social commentary art, and then there's like paintings, and then like self-portraits that are distorted. It was more of a social commentary art than it wasn't. To me, it was kind of like, look, art to some people can be perceived so insanely like deep when it's not. That look, even putting a banana on a wall gets people talking. Because think about it, I know exactly the piece you're talking about. You do too. I guarantee a lot of people in chat do as well, because we talk about it. So it's like the social commentary is the artistic part of the piece. You know, the fact that we're even talking about this. You sure there are any controls you could use? I'm definitely positive. We got this. We got the tail wag. There we go. We got the bark. And we got the jump. And if I use everything else, nothing. They spread into the fields. The chicken litter. You know? Be happy it isn't pig waste. Hell yeah. Yo, Kale, what's good? What's up? How are you doing, Mr. 5 Point? How are you doing? Spirit of the North. You know about this game? Wow, look at you, Debunk. Look at you. I know her. I love how there's a dedicated button for tail wagging. You know what I mean? And I've tried to break things with it. Because, like, this is where we came in. Imagine you could fly using the tail wag. That'd be cute. Look at him just walking. Yeah, this is 100% the way we came in. Help her, I'm lost. I'm lost too. Uh-oh. Oh, give me a second. What do they want? Let me see. Alright, I'm back. I'm pretty sure I muted it, but I'm trying to listen to a phone call to the VA. The VA sent me a message, and I'm like putting it on speaker. You know? Pigs are awesome source of meat. Hell yeah. How is it so far? Have you just started? I just started probably like 30 minutes ago. I like it so far, even though I'm kind of lost. I quite literally am lost. And there's kind of like no hints, and that's kind of like the whole thing. But, you know. As a background thing on PlayStation. I see. It's a shame. Have fun and then drive carefully. The bunk is... What the... I'm about to drive. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe the tail. Maybe doing the tail. No. We tried. Started 30 minutes ago, got lost 25 minutes ago. You know what I mean? You know? I'm not a gamer. I love how, like, back when I didn't play video games, I criticized video games. And I'm not gonna lie. My perspective hasn't changed a whole lot. But they are very beautiful, all things considered. I think it's a really pretty game. Okay. Just get good. I want to get better at Tetris. I have not been practicing. Oh my god, we have that Tetris tournament on Sunday. I have not gotten good at that. Okay, see, here we are. This is where we did the guy. Maybe I'll go the other way. Maybe this was just not the right way. We'll try that. Help, I need an adult. I know, you know what I mean? I'll probably stream the Dino game this weekend. So what game is that again that you've been playing? What is it called? The Dino game. Because I saw your little Spinosaurus drawing. I thought it was really cute. I love the Spinosaurus. There's also, what is this, that one, Leaf? It looks like a Stegosaurus, but it has sharp spikes instead of like the normal scale diamonds that a Stegosaurus has. You know what I'm talking about? So anyone here does art or the creative work, but we're told to get real jobs. Yeah, that was definitely me. For the longest time, my mom, when I was starting my art career, my mom told me to get I need to get a real job. And then she found out how much money I make with my artwork. And she sung very quickly a different tune. You know what I mean? So you can't listen to people. That's what I'm saying. Like, to pursue art, you have to have the utmost confidence in yourself. Because like, I was like, I can do this. You know what I mean? Even though there was naysayers. My own blood betrayed me. Prehistoric Hunt, it's really early access. I forgot the name. You know what I'm talking about? The spike tail dino, right? It looks like a Stegosaurus, but it looked like it has like spears and like spikes more so than it looks like a Stegosaurus. Kentrosaurus. I don't know. Paste and search. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that looks like it actually. I haven't seen dinosaurs in some time. Alright. We're just going in loops at this point. Yeehaw! The dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are certainly something. So here's what I would have said. There's less risk with art, stand-up comedy, or whatever. There's a lot of risk with art. I've seen a lot of failures. I've seen more failures of my peers and people who want to get into art than people who have succeeded. So there is a lot of risk with art. The worst thing you can do with art is make bad art, boot off stage. With real job can cause damage. I think both of them are fine because like both of them are equal because like a real job is safer. Like if you're just like as a clerk at a gas station, like you really can't cause a whole lot of damage except for being rude to a customer. But technically, depending on the art you create, you could offend people with your depiction of art. You know, like say you draw something that's morally gray and people are like, "Ah, I'm the morality police." Since you drew that, you're literally doing that in real life. You know what I mean? I'd even go as far as to say, yeah, art is an incredibly risky career. It really is. Because it also depends on like the social climate, whether or not the things that you're making is palatable for people to consume, etc., etc. You can draw very controversial things. Yeah, exactly. You know, I heard a very succinct way of the controversial question. I asked someone, I'm like, am I controversial? And the person responded, you're controversial if you're asked a controversial question. And I was like, damn, gotcha. Gotcha. You know, anybody who is asked a controversial question, because it's controversial, your answer is going to be controversial. I was like, wow. Wow, that makes sense. I'm so embarrassed about the spinal drawing. Why? You shouldn't be embarrassed about artwork. I love artwork of all types. You know what I mean? Beginners, etc. I keep forgetting to post it, but one time I made my assistant draw my VTuber model. And he's never ever like drawn ever. And so it's as bad as you think, but I cherished it because I'm like, that is so cute. You know? Like a janitor, you can accidentally mix the wrong chemicals and make mustard gas. As a clerk, you can end up being blamed for stealing money from draw art. Nothing like that happens again. You would think so. You would think so. Nothing really happens. But like I said, like I see people get canceled all the time and people are trying to dox you. People are sending you death threats. People actually try to fucking harm you just for things that you post on the internet. So like, yeah, there's turns offs and turns ons to both of them. Like I swear I've explored this entire cave. I just wasn't very confident since I haven't drawn in years. You just gotta learn to draw more, you know? As long as you can kind of see like the shape of what it is, you're fine. You know, I was a terrible artist at one point. You know, it's like you have to be bad in order to be good. You know what I mean? Like I used to only draw when I was a kid. Littlest Pet Shop and Neopets is what I used to draw. I don't know if any of you youngsters know what Littlest Pet Shop is. Do you think a person with ADHD could work on jets like you did without something turning into smoldering ruin? Absolutely. ADHD is not a end all be all. Because like I'm pretty sure I technically have it. I just haven't tested for it, but a lot of the diagnosis I've been given, maybe I'm jumping across. Oh fuck. Nope. Have ADHD symptoms. Super busy at work, but I hope you're having a good stream. Send my well wishes to Sato. Hello, Stellar. Bye, Stellar. Have fun at work. But like with PTSD, you have ADHD-like symptoms. Chronic depression, ADHD symptoms. PMDD, ADHD symptoms. I could definitely get diagnosed with it, but I'm like, what's the point? You know? But yeah, you can definitely could. You just have to know to control yourself. You have to know your triggers. Certain things will trigger you to get your mind off of the path that you need to be on, and you have to avoid those triggers. I forgot all about Littlest Pet Shop. They're so cute back in the day. Art is safe. It definitely isn't. Depending on what you draw, it definitely isn't. It can socially destroy you, you know? Sign into the chat. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why. And it won't go away. I just don't like how activists came in demanding weird change to be made in characters and put their personal politics into them when they just need to keep out of games and other forms of... I can agree. There's one thing to like draw your perspective of what a character would be. I think that's fine, but when you try to policy others and say like, you're not depicting the character how I think it would be, you're wrong and are deserving of hate and harassment, that's where the problem lies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a very firm believer of fiction is fiction. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. When sometimes people draw things I don't like to see, or I don't like, or I don't agree with, I just block them, you know? And I move on with my day. I have, like, explored this entire cave. What is going on here? I'm trying to make a talking point for people who want to pursue art and make their case against parents and other naysayers. But you have to be realistic, Mission. Like, that's the thing, is like, I will never... Like, the thing is like, and a lot of people nowadays, they act like art and starving artists and whatever. It's a glorified romantic career. It is incredibly hard, and I'm not going to be cruel to people and give them false hope. Because what's going to happen is you're going to invest a lot of time and money into art thinking one day it'll pay off, and it might never ever pay off for you. The majority of artists who want to do this as a career don't make it. Like, that's just a factual point. And I never ever want to give a disillusionment that people should waste their time and money in trying to pursue a career like this, you know? I know you have good intentions, but sometimes, like, if you're not truthful to people, you're cruel because you're hiding them from information that you know that they don't know, you know? Which is the, the severity of it is of making an art as a career, especially this day and age with AI taking a lot of artist jobs. Okay. Your opinion is wrong. Take yourself offline. Yeah, like a lot of people are like that. And I don't think anyone else ever tried that argument. What argument? That art is safe? I mean, just because someone hasn't tried it doesn't necessarily give it any merit. It has to be a solid argument nonetheless. I have known some actors who came out to a bad end. I know what you mean. Yeah, and so it's just like they waste their time and their money. I've seen like people like on TikTok literally get small business loans and just loans like up to like 300 to 500,000 thinking that will kickstart their artistic or creative small business, only for them to just end up in debt, and they have to spend the next 10-15 years paying it off for a failure. When it's like if someone just spoke a little bit more honestly about what they were about to do, they could have saved the destruction of a good period of their life. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't want to play a video game or watch a movie or TV show that's going to lecture me. That too. And especially when the lecturing seems baseless. I think a lot of times when you have content that like lectures you, they're assuming the audience is a fool. And that is going to be your biggest mistake always. Like, people are way smarter. I don't think I've gone up here. Than people think. Okay, this is kind of like a new area. So when you try and spell something out for some people, there are dumb people, don't get me wrong. But to assume everyone is dumb by like structuring, finally, by structuring, how the fuck do I get up there though? There we go. Finally. All for it to immediately run away. Okay, let's watch where it's going. Treat you like you're a fool. Like, that's the best way to turn off your audience. You know what I mean? People appreciate honesty and consideration. You know, have some consideration for your fellow man. They're capable too, you know? It feels that way with editing as well. It comes with the chances of a successful career, which is pretty terrifying. Yeah, it really depends. It is a hard thing to get into. You know, the best thing is to find a niche and stick with it. And I know people say that all the fucking time. And now I think this path is clear. Look at us. Gaming geniuses. It only took us like an hour, you know? Find a niche, like a community, and stick with it. That's gonna be your best bet always. Small loan of $1 million. Just a little loan of $1 million. You know? That's one fucking unobvious spot. I know, like, okay, that took long enough. I'm so glad I don't have any debt besides a bit of credit card. Yeah, like there's good debts like having a mortgage and stuff like that. But yeah. But I will say, like earlier in my years of my business, probably up until year 4, I lived off of credit card debt to get by. And so that, like, for example, like I'd pay a credit card balance. Like, you know, when you have to pay a fee on your credit card gives you balance. I did that for literally 5 years until finally my work paid off. So it's a very, very risky and scary process to do, you know? But now I don't pay a credit card bill. I just like big junks like that. I always brace myself for impact, even though it's just a game. I have dreams where I'm like flying off of a cliff and dying. Unrelated. That's what so many movies have failed of late. Yeah, they assume their audience is a bunch of idiots. And I think that's so funny because it's just silly. Like they literally spoon feed you everything. Some of the most successful, whoa, L, what does that mean? Okay. Oh, I can run now. Some of the most successful people or movies are very ambiguous and you have to watch it a few times to understand it. You know what I mean? Whoa. Damn it, I looked at chat for 1 second. I don't know where he went. Fuck. I'm assuming he went this way. Oh god. My dreams usually involve me getting hurt or dying. Yeah, I got to an age of like 24. I think he just disappeared. Oh god, I'm so bad at this. And I used to have death dreams. I'm back. Welcome back, Gluten. I'm glad I haven't had any dreams like that in a while. I don't think I've had one recently. I've had dreams where I'm like trafficked. For what purpose? I'm not sure. The reason recent movies are failed is they were made as a way to launder money or evade taxes. I don't think it works that way. Do you know how taxes work? because it sounds like you have a misconstrued idea of how like a tax like write-off works. Because either way, the movie created is a way to get taxes remitted and like not have to pay taxes on them. All right, I guess I can't go back uphill. But if you get that financial success, you just have more money you can put into more projects, and that's how you grow. You know what I mean? Speedy Fox, hell yeah. You find the way I did. So now I'm in a new area. Lord have mercy. I have dreams where I'm running and I trip. I wake up when I kick the floor. Yeah, I've done that too. I have a lot of dreams where, you know how, curbs, like when you're walking and there's a curb? I have a lot of dreams I'm trying to walk on the curb and then I trip and I like wake up because like my ankle like goes crazy. That's heavy KO, dang. I don't know where the hell that comes from. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Look at this, guys. We're gaming video gamers. I found out the falling teeth dream symbolism is dead on. I think most dreams are pretty symbolic of like your mental state. All things considered, you know? Bistro Huddy. I'm a little confused. What is Bistro Huddy? Those are like 50% of my dreams. I fell in my dream and gasped so loud when I woke up. I've done that. There are a few times where I've had dreams my mom's called me and like I wake up saying hello. Does that mean I'm mentally cooked? I think you're mentally cooked with or without the dream, so you know. My dreams are usually same. I do every day, except I sometimes get confused what I have and have not done. Yeah, I have a bad habit of waking up in the middle of the night, answering emails, and then not remembering if I answered them or not. So I kind of know what you mean. And sometimes I think I answer them and I don't. Alright, what am I doing here? What am I saying is, though, with millions who bankroll movies might be paying a different game and different motives every day, consumer might assume what movie making is. Maybe to a very uninformed consumer, perhaps, but that's where it's like a lot of the disconnect comes with like big businesses and big companies and consumers. I don't know why a bark triggered it to move. Because everyone thinks it's like insidious, but it's like businesses are rather like straightforward with how you manage them. You know what I mean? Because in order to grow, you have to spend money. And a lot of people think like big businesses just have like this huge pot of money. And like, no, it's all like tied up into the company itself. You know what I mean? What does it mean? I'm dreaming about saving the ship from Chinese border single-handedly. I don't know. Maybe it means you want to be, deep down, you want to be someone who stands up for others. You want to be someone who can protect others who you find are, incapable of protecting themselves. Sounds heroic. 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 Thank you, Mickey the Mute, for another $5. I appreciate it. So if I'm not dreaming, that means I'm lack of imagination. I don't know. I go through periods myself where I just don't dream. Like, I really haven't had a dream recently in the last, like, 2 weeks. It takes money to make money. It does. But it's like, also, you have to invest, like, so much money to make money at all, you know? Are you watching the newest Knives Out movie? What is that? Knives Out. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds interesting. Have a producer give me a little advice. He said that I don't know anything in depth. That sounds... I'd have to say all things that sounds kind of correct, kind of how you're speaking. But that just means that you can learn a lot of things, you know, and you can always learn new things, and that's a great thing, you know? It's always good to be aware of your ignorance or your non-understanding of something, because that means you can learn it. And then there you go. You solve the problem. Erotic. You know what I mean? I get a dream like once a month if I'm lucky. Yeah, sometimes like I'll have dreams for like a week straight, and then out of nowhere I'm just like not dreaming. You know what I mean? It came out today. Knives Out. What does that mean? Is that like a... To me, it sounds like a like an animal food meat documentary. You know what I mean? I had a baseball dream where I was battling and a ball was hurled at my face. Yeah. That sucks when you have those kinds of dreams. I'll see if my dad wants to watch it with me and his brothers. I see. Hi, I used to watch your streams a lot before stuff happened. I don't care if you remember me. I used to go by the name Anomia. Of course I remember you. Long time no see. I hope you've been well. And no worries, you know. Always feel free to leave and then come back. Or just leave. You know? People have lives. It makes sense. Daniel Craig, James Bond plays a Southern detective. Oh, whodunit movie. To clarify, he said movies are something used to reduce tax liability. However, that was a factoid thing and not in depth. Yeah, I mean, of course, everything a business does is to reduce the taxes you pay at the end of the year. Because the way that it works, like for me specifically, everything I spend to promote my business, I use that as operation costs for my business. So say, just for reference, I'm really dyslexic for numbers. We're gonna use really small numbers. Say I make $10,000 in money in my business a year, you know, but it costs me $7,000 to quote unquote run the business, which is create products, create social media advertisement. The only money I can be taxed on by the government is $3,000. So now I only, even though I made $10,000, I invested $7,000 back into my business, which made me bigger. And now I only have to pay taxes on that $3,000. You see what I'm saying? So like businesses want to spend more money because it lowers how much money you owe on your government taxes. And some people think that's bad, but it's not, because all the money that I'm spending goes back into the local economy because I have to pay sales tax. You know what I mean? When I buy something from a local place, I'm spending money, you know? So a lot of people think, for example, like, oh, Amazon is such a bad guy. They don't pay taxes. It makes sense they don't pay taxes because they create such a local influx of money to a local economy. They do more for the government than the government could probably do with the money they would have paid in taxes. There's something called Hollywood accountant. No, that's just business accounting in general. Like what you're saying can apply to like any business, really. Taking care of Potato is just a tax write-off. You know what I mean? It creates content for me, you know? And I make money off of content. Really makes you think. Guys, did you know vet bills are tax deductible? Unbelievable. But really, so if somebody, so say someone had a fox. They had a fox as a pet. And so they had expensive vet bills. They had expensive food bills. And if they make a social media account for their fox and they get most of their income or a significant amount of income from that fox's social media account, then literally the vet bills would be tax deductible because that costs for your business to stay upkeep. You know what I mean? You make 10K? No, I was giving that an example. I definitely make way more than $10,000. I have a legitimate business. I was just saying it because I'm really bad with the money thing. The positive thing with 10 minus 7 is okay, listen here, I had to be verified. We use small numbers around here, you know what I mean? You should consider tax evasion. I'm afraid of the IRS. So no, I'm a good kid. I pay my taxes, you know, even on my what's it called, cash money. I report that, pay taxes on that. I'm a good kid. Right, but your game as a business owner is offer value. I think the really big giants are playing the wealth extraction gotcha economics that where things wonky politically. You have to elaborate because all of that just sounds like you just don't understand what it is. Because like wealth extraction and gotcha economics. Tell me what the gotcha economics is. Because it sounds like just regular economics, you know? What's the goofiest weapon you guys could think of? A toothbrush. More than 10K? Not 10K per month. More than 10K? Yeah, I definitely make more than $10,000 a year. You guys are funny. Only to file taxes and not pay. Oh, that's true. Guys, I file my taxes. Whether or not I pay them is a whole nother story. No, I file and pay my taxes. Subtle vet bill fundraiser stream when? We shall see. Look at this little guy, the spirit fox. And thank you, my dear Mickey the Mute. She's a boss. Thank you. A boss of me. One tax I don't see how it'd be possible is wealth tax because you can't tax something you can't physically see. I am curious about what wealth tax is. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to bark. Let's try that. A sock filled with change. 10K a day. Could you imagine that? Oh, that'd be fantastic. $10,000 a day. So take video games like $90 for not do well get a video game or love service where you never own the game. Whereas Witch or Elden Ring as well, buy them because of value offer. That's just how you run a business. Are you saying like are you talking about like quote unquote predatory pricing? Because that's also a business technique too. It's like where it's like there's like sometimes like for example, in soda companies and stuff like that, they'll have a small, medium, and large. The small will be like 150. Oh, God, I'm so bad at like giving examples of this. The medium will be, oh yeah, okay, the small will be 150. The medium will be like 250, but the large will be like 255. So the medium only exists to make the large look lucrative. So now, instead of just buying a small 150 drink, you're spending 250. So it's just like, it's just a specific like pricing for that, you know, and that's not bad at all. That's how just a business runs, you know what I mean? Bark at his ass. How do I get a good job and become rich? You have a skill set that's desired, is the solution. So you have to spend time to develop a good skill, you know? Like, for example, like, it's hard to manage aircraft. I love how I'm just, like, fucking hurtling down this hill. It's hard to run a plane. It's hard to take care of a plane properly. So that's why people who operate planes make a lot of money. For me, my art is, very successful, and my design eye is very successful, so that's why I make money from it. What game is she playing? I'm playing Spirit of the North. It's a very fun game. Bark at his ass. Oh, that was so funny. Why is bubble tea so expensive? Because it's a highly desired product right now. They know it's trendy, and they know people want to try it. Same with Dubai chocolate, you know? Everybody knows everybody wants to try it, so you can inflate the price. It's like customer demand. Yes, you're socializing loss and privatization of profit. I admit my education lacking, but you're telling me where I'm wrong. Yeah, because a lot of what you're saying sounds just like the kind of... A lot of people have this... Oh, what the... I died. This misunderstanding of, like, a businesses, and they think everyone's out to get them. And it's like, no, it's just... There's, like, a method to running a business. Hi, Kale. Hello, Kamikaze Kid. How are you doing? Kale's with ice. I know, I was, like, hurtling. And I don't know what socialization loss is. What is that? And I don't think you can really privatize profit, maybe from the public eye, which is fair. But you can't privatize profit from the IRS, you know? I can't be a plane pilot, I have diabetes. That's fair, that's fair. I didn't know that was a precursor to not being able to fly an aircraft, which is diabetes. I didn't know that. You can, you just need a special medical waiver. Is the bunk. Why did I just die? I came into the red stick and died. Okay, I'm not dead. This is cute. 3.65 million years sounds awesome. I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree. Hell, okay, guys, I'll be a little humble, okay? Even a million a year sounds awesome. Taro boba is yummy, but I can only have it like twice a month. Too sweet. It really is. I haven't had it in forever. A special medical, huh? I think you meant like a medical waiver. Oh, why am I limping? It was all the launching I did. Aww. Here's your hourly delusion. I will fight the IRS 1,000 times over for KO my wife totally. When Tasato resurrects from the dead, you're gonna die. Tasato is gonna haunt you. You're so funny, Communist Crusader. I saw it online that you can't be a pilot, but IDK if that's true. I think it depends on the airline industry, the aircraft you're flying, and like there's probably a myriad. And it probably depends on diabetes type 1 versus diabetes type 2. You know, one's more manageable. You know, that's what 10K a day would equate to. Oh, that's crazy. I don't think I'm smart enough to be a pilot anyways. You and me both. You and me both. I can't even do numbers, you know what I mean? Also, I have no sense of direction. I'd be flying us like fuck all. Who knows? I screenshotted for Tasato, lol. Aw, Tasato's in surgery right now. That's so sad. That's so scary. Like, he's getting his, like, nose absolutely obliterated and reconstructed right now. That's crazy. They're so cooked. I have type 1, it's horrible. Ah, yeah, see, that's one harder to manage. Then I could see that, technically. I could see type 2 as being more, like, manageable. I don't like how I'm limping. This is so sad. You know what I mean? This is where I'm gonna be resurrected, though. I'll get into the holy water. You fight Tasato, you fight me too. That's what I'm saying. If I ever kick Tasato out, I lose half my fan base. Half the people are here for him. Uh-oh, I can't jump. Pepsi isn't even the cheap option of soft drinks anymore. It's the same price as Coke. I didn't realize. I thought they were equal competitors. I didn't realize one was ever supposed to be cheaper than the other. But it makes sense. Socializing costs means things like bailouts or having a CEO, political friends have taxpayer foot operating costs, or having certain groups of people cost society and use as slave labor. I don't know about all that. But for example, having political friends bail you out financially, that's kind of like how it works, you know? You know, I've like, for example, on a very small scale, I've helped my friends when they're in financial need, you know what I mean? Because we're friends. And I have resources, which is money, so I help them. But if you do that on a bigger scale, say both of us as friends have like huge businesses, then yeah, it looks like my business is bailing their business out. But I think that's just how it works. Like, it is human after all, you know? Great, you're making the wounded fox swim. I know. Isn't type 2 the easier one? Yeah, type 2 I believe is the easier, the more lenient version of diabetes. Coke is a more profitable soda, but PepsiCo is way more profitable as a company. Interesting. That's fascinating. I think I like, ooh. We got some dead bones around here. I think I like Pepsi more than I do, Coke. That's why store brands exist. Those are the cheap options. The great values? Hell yeah. Well, I don't know enough politically or economically to say anything more, but this is my best I can do to express my position. Yeah, and I would say definitely a lot of... It seems like you might live in a lot of fear of the way the world works. And so I definitely recommend just like looking into like why people... Like, for example, a really good example of people living in fear is whenever us as a country, the United States, sends $10 billion to Ukraine. That sounds insane, you know, because we're like, oh, we have our own, what's it called? Country that we need to care for. Why are we sending $10 billion to Ukraine? That sounds very dramatic, but in reality, what happens is the military, the government, allots $10,000 and takes that, and gives that money to American companies. Did I say 10 million or 10 billion? Whatever the hell number I said, 10 billion or whatever. They give that American contracts and the American product is worth $10 billion. And then they send that to Ukraine. So yes, it is sending a lot of resources to Ukraine, but it's American countries and American contracts that give that $10 billion. So technically that does stimulate the American economy. But a lot of people think we're just handing $10 billion in cash to whatever. When in reality, Boeing and Lockheed and stuff like that, American companies, I believe they're American, I could be wrong. I know they're manufactured here. We're giving them money, which they stimulate their company and become bigger. So it's like, it's a lot deeper process than just like handing over money, you know what I mean? 10 billion, there we go. What's the game? It's Spirit of the North is what this game is. Well, if as a history nerd, that's not technically true. They bought the metal from the scrap ships. Dr. Kelp. What on earth? Diet Dr. Kelp. I know, also the Soviets, just fun to say it that way, I see. Have you seen War Dogs? That sounds really familiar. That sounds really familiar. They're indeed American. Yeah, so it's like the American government is actually stimulating American companies to assist and aid other countries, which, yeah, we are aiding other countries, but it's not as... I love how I've been limping for like a year. It's not as like clear cut, it's just sending over money. Boeing is here in the US. Okay, there we go. You know what I mean? Because like as we give Boeing more money to make aircraft, they become more specialized in their ability to make good aircrafts. So us as an American country profit off of the, like we benefit, excuse me, off of the succeeding of the Boeing company. You see what I'm saying? It's everything's a little bit more tied in than most people think. Pepsi had a massive navy. Pepsi once bought the Russian Navy. Can the Spirit Fox carry you with cool blue powers? Right? I know. Like, hurry, come on. Get over here. Excuse me. I've been gimping. Gimp walking for how long? Correct on the fear thing. Don't have a lot of confidence for the future of America. I don't have a lot, which makes it adapt to dramatic changes. A lot difficult to adapt. A lot of people who are afraid, like, because they're uninformed. The best way you can live a life of like mental security and clarity is to inform yourself, because things that are scary are not really that scary. Like a lot of people are afraid of having a heart attack. There are rare cases where you just have a heart attack and die and you're like 12, you know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't exercise. You have arteries that are clogged. You have ischemia in your heart vessels, which is from like high blood pressure and eating too much sugar, for example. And so there's a lot of contributing factors to where it's like, now you realize you can change your behavior to prevent a heart attack or prevent the likelihood of it happening. But a lot of people just think like a heart attack is a mystical thing. You know what I mean? Why are we combining into one? Either way, we look pretty now. Huh. I'm afraid because I have an uncertain future myself. I think... Hold on, I gotta cough, sorry. Everybody does have an uncertain future, and that's what makes the future so daunting, you know what I mean? But everybody is experiencing that. The solution is to educate yourself to the best of your ability. You know, pay attention to like, yeah, I know like a lot of politics are inflammatory. Look how pretty we are now. Look at this. And we're not limping. This is cool. A lot of politics and new stuff is very inflammatory. You have to know how to mentally filter this stuff from your stress factors. You know what I mean? I'm scared of getting dementia or something. Dementia has a high link to diabetes, and so high consumption of sugar. Thank you, my dear Mickey the Mute, for another $5. I appreciate it. Raina's gonna be so happy. Raina always asks. Raina comes in and is like, did anybody super chat? Raina's so funny. Raina's gonna be so happy. Thank you, my dear Mikey. I appreciate it. But yeah, dementia is highly linked to, I believe, diabetes and you not using your brain, like constantly keeping your brain like neuroplastic, like learning new things. So that can also to a degree be was it following me or prevented? You know what I mean? RGB Fox. You know what I mean? Oh, that's interesting. Now when I shake my tail, it goes that way. Don't scare me. No, I mean, you can prevent it. Oh. Sorry. I forgot you said you had diabetes. Sorry about that, my dear. You know what I mean? You can manage your diabetes to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? Gotcha. Sorry about that. The best thing I can do as a person concerned about politics is becoming useful in a crisis or disaster. You have to be educated to be useful. You know what I mean? Like learning first aid, learning how to cook, learning math. That's the best I can do. You can do a little bit more because what are the chances you're gonna come in contact with a disaster event? You know what I mean? Like I am like quote unquote like first aid trained because of the military. And so it's like I had like a lot of security. Yeah, I guess it is following me. Security training and stuff like that. And it never really came to fruition, all things considered. But I think a more effective way, if you really want to change the world, is like helping people change their mindset and helping them become more confident and less scared people. Because when people are scared, they act irrationally. They don't think before they do things. They lash out on people because they think like every corporation's bad. Every person in politics is bad, which high-key I agree with. But you know what I mean? So helping people defeat fear is going to probably do more for humanity than it is to prepare, like learn how to cook, learn math, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You got an indicator now. I know, but like it's following me. I feel that I get a lot of my fulfillment of being helpful or useful to others. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was kind of like how like that person was arguing, to me, an altruistic narcissist, like if the people benefit, it's beneficial, you know what I mean? For real time to eat nothing but sugar and blankly stare at Nyan Cat for 10 hours a day. The non-movement also creates more insulin in your blood, so you're gonna also have to do some movement with that. So also like the best way to kind of defeat insulin, which is the issue with diabetes, is weight training. But I'm a BRB, I gotta use the restroom, hold on. I returned. The tail is the indicator. Oh! Oh! You guys are so smart. You guys are so good at video games. Heart disease can have a family tied to it as well. Yeah, and I wouldn't, if I'm just gonna guess, I wouldn't be surprised because like a lot of like diabetes and stuff like that and insulin problems are passed down in the womb because if the mother is eats too much and consumes too much sugar, quite literally, your body is made up with too much sugar in it, and that's why you have insulin resistance. Like, for example, my mom she was overweight and she consumed too much sugar for me. That's literally how I was born insulin resistant. You know what I mean? Fear is the mind killer, exactly. In my alternate universe, I'm gonna make Miku a caffeine addict nerd, narrow, and angry magical girl who can't see reason, and Teto a stoner. Why not? Those are all very, creative paths. Alright, hold on. Put you there. I gotta set up my phone. Yeehaw! My body attacks my pancreas, that's how I have diabetes, I think. I see, I see. But usually diabetes is... Okay, so I was already here. An insulin resistant issue because your body's not processing sugar and insulin correctly. And so it like overcompensates. I also found out that my shitty instructor that I got for CCA 2 might have an equal opportunity thug thing against him. What the hell? What the hell was that? Okay, I'll keep going this way. Because type 1 and type 2 are pretty different. Ah, I see what you're saying. I could definitely see that. Equal opportunity thing against him. Okay. Alright. I like that I can bark, though. Was there always water here? Hold on. I hear, like... What the... Yesterday I learned insulin is made with E. coli bacteria. What the hell is going on here? Oh god. I'll have this open in background tuning every now and then. Just yell when you need someone banned. Oh god, you're so funny, Leaf. It's funny, like, I love how, like, again, I'm not doing the vertical streaming, so, like, we don't really have to worry about that right now. But essentially, he played favorites and had people he specifically hated said so, which you can't have as an instructor. I see. I think people are going to naturally have biases, so that's why it's kind of smart to try and learn to be as charismatic as possible. Because I don't think a human is without bias, simply because they're human, you know what I mean? But to make it, like, very obvious is obviously a fault. Okay, keep going in here. What does the fox say? That's a great question. Oh, wait, I have the indicator. Hold on. Okay. The bunk is so smart. Alright. I guess we gotta leave. Remember correctly, you're born with type 1 while type 2 is developed. I believe that's the case. Exactly, I think that is that. Yeah, no, he's like overtly unprofessional, like he sounds like a moody teenager every time you ask him for something. I always hate people in positions of power like that. They make things insufferable. That's the military in a nutshell, however. Okay, am I going the right way, though? It's kind of saying I'm not. The quickest hack I found to be charismatic is learn to talk with people find fascinating. Well, I think you, mislearned that. Because, like, yes, having topics that are fascinating, that's not really charismatic. Charismatic individuals are very... Bye, waifu! Thank you, Mickey the Moot. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. To be really charismatic, you have to be, like, really in tune with the people you're talking to. You know what I mean? You have to give them, like, information. Where the France am I going? That indicate you care about them as an individual. You know, you have to give everyone the time of day. You have to, like, want to eagerly listen to people as much as they want to talk. You know what I mean? Those are more symptoms of charisma, I'd say. Good God, where the hell am I going? But thank you, my dear Mickey the Mute. Because a lot of people they just want to talk about themselves. And if you make them feel valued, that's how you have real charisma, you know? You give them a chance to speak about themselves. Because, like, think about it. People's favorite topic to talk about, always themselves. So if you give them that opportunity, they're gonna think you're a great person, you know? Because you guys have similar interests. You guys are both interested in the person, you know what I mean? Oh god, this game is hard. My grandpa on dad's side of the family died of a heart attack at 54. My dad had multiple heart-related surgeries due to him and my mom's stunts, but then I'm screwed in the heart department. Did obesity run in the family? Because I know a lot of times that's the case. It's due to obesity. I got it when I was 4, I got a lot of it around 10. You can only get type 1 under the age of 30 or 40. Alright, so this is not a path. I meant department, not dependent. Oh, I see. First part, wanting to be charismatic is actually like people. Can't go far without that. You don't even have to really like people. You just have to outwardly express yourself. Oh, look at that. Here we go. We got something. Like you do. You know, like, don't just say, like, how are you doing? And then, like, when they start talking, you don't elaborate. You start asking questions about them. Like, you show the person that you really, really care. You know, a lot of people don't even go that far. That... And I think a big part of charisma too is also just being very open and honest with yourself. And I think that's why a lot of quote unquote bad people online have platforms. Because like, even though they're controversial, even though they're bad, even though they're, I don't know, whatever is the bad thing to do, and they still have an audience, is because they're very honest. You know what I mean? Like, I saw this girl on Caleb Hammer. She was very openly like racist. And she was kind of like doing it, I think to me, she was kind of just doing it more so as a joke. Oh, there we go. And you would think like, oh, everyone's gonna be hating her in the comments because she's racist. When in reality, people were like, wow, she's at least racist and proud. And that's admirable. And so there really was not a lot of hate comments. You know, because they were like, you know what, at least she's true in what she believes in. And people appreciate honesty and authenticity more than probably anything. You know what I mean? I just learned about that in the Laws of Human Nature. That's a great book. Shout out to Robert Greene. Becoming not wanting. I keep getting Android ads. That's weird because I'm not even... I should have ads turned off. As far as in between stream. The truly charismatic people I met in life were scoundrels. They're probably Machiavellians. Machiavellian is probably what they were, you know? But there is something very attractive to a person who doesn't hesitate to speak what's on their mind. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, again, Trump, depending on his, you know, obviously, like, ignoring, like, his political policies or whatever, he's a very, very charismatic individual. You always know when you ask, or he gets asked a question, he's going to answer it truthfully and however his mind sees fit. And that is a very admirable trait. You know what I mean? Just found you from the Trauma Trigger Instapost. Never watch VTubers while chill here and there. Respect for how you handle it. Thank you. Inclined Club for Life. Thank you. I appreciate it. To be fair, I am more likely to give a homeless guy money if he says he's gonna go get drunk or something. Otherwise, I give them food and such. Yeah, that, like, some people, like, do, indulge in that. Maybe I'm so brain dead. Yeah, but there is, like, again, like, we truly do want people to be honest, and that's why I think being nice to people, just because you think it makes you look good as a human, like, look at me, I'm so nice to people. I think that's a terrible trait. You know what I mean? Because there's a difference between being kind to someone, which is like you have good intentions of wanting to help them, versus being nice. You know, like if your friend says, hey, do I look good in this dress? And she looks like a sack of potatoes or strung up ham, and you're like, yeah, you look great. You're setting them up for failure. But if you say like, maybe we can try a different color. I think a different color might suit you a little bit better. That's kind, even though technically it's not like nice. You know what I mean? Good things chat's less rowdy. Yeah, it's because I'm not doing the simulated stream, like the dual stream. Because I was like, I don't want to deal with that, especially in this stream. You know what I mean? President Trump is a real successful real estate mogul. Yeah, he's just, I think like a lot of it, he literally just gets by on just straight charisma. Where am I going? Check to see if there was a way by the mage. Okay, we'll try that. Where's the mage? I don't find the expiring Tangerine charismatic. A lot of people do. He speaks with his chest, and he speaks true, and he's very consistent with what he says. So that's kind of like the traits of charisma. A charismatic people have people drawn to them, you know? A lot of people are very drawn to Trump, his mechanisms, his behaviors. And he is pretty funny. Okay. It's somewhere around here. Bark? Nope. Oh, maybe this. What the heck am I supposed to do? You got it. Didn't Trump just get in trouble for not renting real estate to POC? I don't know. I've never heard any of that. All things considered. Because that doesn't even sound like a good business move. Because, like, why would you not want to take money when you can take money? You know what I mean? I hear another dog in here, though. One thing I've noticed Trump does is he becomes the biggest cheerleader for those who work or cooperate with him. Which makes sense, which gives those people... Oh, wait, I jumped. A more likely reason to, support him because he cheers people on, you know what I mean? I always think I have to bite my tongue when talking about Trump. I do specifically think because I'm legally obligated to. I mean, that's fair. I mean, you are, you know, you're allowed to have your own opinions, you know? I just say, like, don't record them when you're in uniform, you know what I mean? You're upper chain of command. What the France is going on? Ice slope. Where do you see the ice slope? Ice slope. I'm so slow, damn. Having a businessman as president is what we need as a country, and that's the best way to run it. It certainly is interesting to see if he can pull it off. Like, he keeps talking about, like, something about, like, getting rid of, like, income tax and for the tariffs, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work, and I don't personally like it. I mean, maybe it works, you know? Maybe it works. How do you draw fingers? Great question. Wasn't Richard Nixon also very charismatic? I don't know. I believe so, but I know JFK was incredibly charismatic. And that's why he was also popular. You know, even Obama. Obama was very charismatic. You know what I mean? Even Bush, some of the times that he was fucking saying stuff, it was pretty funny. I still love that one. He's like, all right, now watch this drive. It's not the best way. It's not the best way. Do not run a country as a business. I don't think we ever historically have run a country as a business, though. So how do we know it doesn't work? You know what I mean? I would say every president was charismatic. If you really think about it, high key. All right, not that. Exit the room and then follow the indicator. You hit an ice slope. Okay, so now how do I get up the ice slope? Okay, I was able to get up it. Okay, maybe look at this. Look at this. A position on Trump is he was the arsonist vote. What really, I do wonder what you mean by that. What really matters is how I run my life despite what political changes America undergoes. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I kind of see it. Like a lot of people, yes, do get affected by Trump's presidency, but I'd say the majority of people don't really get affected. But I guess you could argue what you mean by effective or not. But I will say, in my times of being a legal adult and going through, I think, an Obama presidency, a Trump presidency, Biden twice, and then another Trump presidency, nothing that they've done has changed my life, except for technically the financial tariffs I have to pay for my business. That's the only thing that, like, historically, you know what I mean? Because look at how business treat employees. Most of them value profit over people, but technically that's not... A lot of businesses do that. But depending on the person, it's hard to pay attention to the person over the business, because having more money gives you more resources, so you can technically help more people, you know, and technically by employing a person, you are helping them, you know? So technically, there are going to be instances where people disagree with if the business values the person over the entity, but it depends on the business's goals, you know what I mean? But I will say, what happened to the poor fox? Oh, I collided with that spirit thing, and now I hear a fox somewhere off in the distance. I can't find it. Actually, Obama was twice. Oh, okay. Obama was twice and Biden was once. Okay, there we go. I don't know how the hell I misremembered that. Really? Biden was only once? Why did I feel like that felt like a long time? Okay. You're getting good. Keep it up. I don't know about that. Let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. But yeah, I know a lot of people, and this is not to dog on anybody in particular, but a lot of like younger individuals this generation think like a business is like a home and it needs to cater to you because you simply are an employee. You know, a business is a very valuable and hard thing to run, and you're just doing a very small part of it, which is like being like a cashier. Of course, they're going to like only care about you running the cashier position when they have so many more things to manage, which is like their taxes, employment, expansion, etc., etc. And some people are very like upset by that fact that a business is going to choose their best interest. Like for example, like I had a very traumatic incident in the military that happened, and then rather than the military properly, properly handling what I went through, they just got rid of me. And that makes, like, obviously it's cruel and it was traumatic, but it makes a lot of sense for the scheme of the business being a business, you know what I mean? Of course you're gonna get rid of the person, quote unquote, being a troublemaker, drawing negative attention to the military. You know what I mean? It's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, it makes sense in the business sense. Biden was vice president. There we go. That's probably where I got that. I was like, man, I thought we dealt with him a lot longer than that. Okay. Another way I found to be charismatic is learn how to cook, play music and stuff like that. I don't know a lot of people who are musicians that are charismatic. And cooking, I think, is just like, it's like charisma is not, it's not like a set of skills. It's like your interpersonal skills with another, like your communication skills with people. You know what I mean? Like if you're true to yourself and it reflects in your artwork, because people can be, reflect their identity, their politics, whatever through their artwork, that's what makes them charismatic. But it's not because they can draw. It's because they communicate their intentions better. This poor fucking dog, Fox, is just locked somewhere. I'm just like running around. Businesses still have a responsibility to hold some humanity though. They don't have a responsibility. They really don't. It would be nice in a perfect world if they held responsibility, but they don't have a responsibility, you know? Okay, did I just maybe never go this way? Or am I lost again? This is the worst indicator ever. 4K, you know what I mean? My streamer is actually playing a game that isn't Tetris. I know, Fox Simulator. How do I draw a magical girl? You're gonna have to look it up. You know? The military has always tried putting optics above everything else. Yeah, and so it's like, it makes sense in the grand scheme of the perseverance of like how the military wants to be perceived. You know what I mean? The military has always been about optics. It's always been about like, look how much power we have. Oh, it's called deterrence? Deterrence is the word. Where it's like, the military doesn't even have to flex its weapons. It just has to show you like, look, we have 6 billion ships on the ocean. What are you gonna do about it? They don't even have to like blow up anything. It's the deterrence. It's just their presence alone that makes them so impactful. So they communicate that they have power without even showing their power. Charisma is an innate trait. It's definitely not. It's definitely a learned skill. I met people who were and where isn't learned. I'm saying how to be more charming if you get social graces of a rock. No, you can learn. You can learn. Like the thing is, like a lot of people do think social communication and stuff like that is just a some people are born with it and some people are not. Some people grasp it earlier than others, but you can definitely learn to be more charismatic, you know? I was a very quiet person when I was a kid. Like I told this many times, it's like I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up in like school and whatever, and like I had like pretty much no friends in high school, so I used to have to eat lunch in the bathroom, you know what I mean, because I didn't want to be seen as like being lonely. But I started studying human behavior, and I learned what is very palatable, what is very successful with other people, and that's how I implement and carry myself now. Does that make any sense? You know, like I feel though that like or I've noticed rather, again, humans do value honesty. They do value, you know, some conflict and some pushback, you know? And so, those are traits I should, expand on. Okay, I don't know where to go. They focus so much outward, they forgot to look inward. Hell yeah. Okay, so it is not in here. It's not in here. Okay, hold on. What the heliante? It's learned, I know, because I have been more outgoing more recent years, but not any stretch of the imagination of charismatic. Yeah. It's like, I definitely was not charismatic when I was younger. But I started studying human behavior and what makes charismatic people attractive, you know what I mean? There's a really good quote, Robert Greene quotes it a couple times, where he says, he's quoting someone else, and he's basically saying, it was this woman, she had dinners with 2 successful men. And one of the successful men, she was like, when I was speaking to him, he made me feel like he was the most important person in the world because he talked a lot about himself. He talked about his accomplishments. When I had dinner with the second successful man, he made me feel like I was the most important person in the world because he focuses more of his energy onto her and asking her questions, asking her opinions. And she obviously favored the second guy way more because she felt valued with him. That's the importance of charisma. You know what I mean? If I just sat here all day, I do bring up my business and stuff like that because I want to show, hey, it's provable. You can be successful despite having like pitfalls and stuff like that. But I don't use that as like, hey guys, come follow me. I have a successful business. Hey guys, I have access to resources and money. Nobody would like me for that. Because it's like, I'm very egotistical. I'm talking to myself or talking about myself. Because it almost looks like I'm trying to say like, please accept me. Please, look at all the stuff I've done. Embarrassing. No, I spend more time, talking to my audience and getting to know them and making them feel valued, you know? That's definitely way more, charismatic. We disagree with what makes a charismatic person charismatic. It's a debate between nature versus nurture. I don't okay. Chaos.store for your acrylic charms. Thank you, my dear Dark Virus. Yeah, that is my online store. But thank you. But no, like charisma definitely can be learned. I think you just have like a very defeatist mindset. Just kind of like how you've been talking and how you kind of make it seem like everything's like out to get you. The businesses are bad. I think you have a very defeatist mindset. You know what I mean? Viewing charisma as a skill you can improve on rather than something you're born with is the first step to improving it. Absolutely. Most skills you can improve in, and it's like a very defeatist way of thinking to think like, oh, well, they were just born with it and I'm not. Where the hell are we? Okay, maybe this is the right area. No. The music's picking up. What is going on? You know? Maybe mirror neurons might play a role in how charismatic. What the hell is mirror? You see, like, you're coming up with stuff that doesn't even make sense. Mirror neurons. Tell me what a mirror neuron is. You know what I mean? One thing about whole running the government like a business, that there are certain things intended for the greater good that are difficult to think of running for business principles. Rather, it'd be difficult to structure those things accordingly because of the nature of service. I can see that. I can see that. I think my favorite part of being around here is the fact that I feel like I'm actually kind of valued here. There's only a couple places where I've heard that so far, including Navy. Yeah, and it's like, because I do weigh people's opinion, and that's also like, not to toot my own horn, but it's like, I do have an ego, don't get me wrong, but I am humble with the fact that people can give perspectives and information that I don't have, and they can be right over me. That's why I like arguing with chat, because I'm like, you know, fault my reasoning when I say this. So I do very implore, like, a pushback and stuff like that. What's the opposite of a defeatist mindset? Grandiosity? Probably in a clinical sense. Charisma is a skill, like in The Sims 4, absolutely. Another thing I've noticed is charismatic people do is reframe discussion. To reframe discussion into what? You gotta be a little bit more specific. You know? I love how you're lost and you just end up wandering and get even more lost. I know! I love how they try to make this game as like easy as possible, and it's like, it's not working for me. Okay, this has gotta be something. Oh god. God help me, God help me. BRB for mirror neuron thing. I'd love to hear about that. I agree with you, Mission Nero, and I respect you. Okay, so if you agree with him, can you elaborate a little bit more? Maybe he can communicate better in numbers. you know? Navigation, for example, is a skill Chaos can improve on. I can, exactly, but I don't value it as something I should improve on, so I don't. I could get better at numbers and math. I just don't value it as a skill that I need to improve on, you know? But I could, you know? But I put my energy elsewhere. It's not being lost, it's called exploration. It's called admiring the scenery. Okay. Alright, I'm following this thing to a T. See, it says go this way. How does this make sense? Head back to the ice slope, okay. Oh, there's a dead body here. Okay. Okay, well. What did I miss? I'm still in the same area. I don't agree with them. I was just being charismatic. Oh, you're dumb as fuck. You're funny though. Also, chat, what do I eat? Some eggs with soy sauce. Raina taught me that one time, and it's actually really, really good. Mirror neurons are a type of neurons associated with empathy. It allows the individual to be better to imagine or understand motives and moods of other people. Perhaps people can learn that innately, just like anything. Anything can be like, you're born with the ability to understand it more, but you can learn those things. You can study human behavior. You can study human body language. Like, I've actually done a lot of studying for like human body language, like a little small thing that you can watch for people. When you're talking to somebody and if you say something and they're just listening to you, and you say something that they internally disagree with, it's a very likelihood they take their lips and they like purse them a certain way. So like watch my model. They're like, they do that because they don't really agree with you, but they won't verbally state it. But there is a lot of human body language you can study and pick up on to read people better. So say you're talking about something, or like you're like, Trump's the greatest president, and you notice they do that little tiny motion, you now realize, hey, it's very likely this person disagrees with what I'm saying. And then you can follow it with like, well, you know, he's had some faults or whatever. So you can literally read their body language to understand the conversation better. It's something you can learn. You know what I mean? I do not have eggs. My buddy is odd. You need to get some eggs, you know? What's up, crew? Hello, Twisted Slop. How are you doing? The indicator was just as you move. It'll go through the walls. Just gotta get the general direction, navigate the tunnels to get there. Okay. You know what I mean? Also, like, it shakes their head when they're saying yes. Yeah, so it's like you can literally study things. Like, people, like, a big thing is like, yeah, when they agree with you, they'll do like big motions like this. You know what I mean? And man, I wish I could show a great example of how important body language is, but I can't because I don't have like a hand cam. But if you make the gesture with your hands and make like a small gesture, like the pinching emoji, you're like, this is small. But if you look at somebody and you're like, this is a huge thing, but your hand motion is showing the small indicator, there's going to be a conflict of communication with the person. They're going to be like, why are you making the small gesture, but you're saying the word huge? It's because body language is that important that they're like literally watching your body and communicating with it, and not just with their words. Micro expressions are incredibly important. Yeah, you know what I mean? You can watch the way, like, for example, another thing is like the way people hold their hands. If they're a confident individual, for whatever reason, some of the stuff we don't even know scientifically why people do it, they just do it. They'll show their thumbs more if they're a confident individual. So if somebody puts their hands on their hips and they're hiding their thumbs, they could not be as secure as they could be in the situation. But if they're showing, what the hell is this? If they're showing their thumbs, it indicates more of a gesture that they're confident, you know? Also, like when you're talking to somebody, if you're sitting there with your arms crossed, look at us, gamers. If you're sitting there with your arms crossed and then you lean forward, that indicates you're really paying attention to what they're saying and doing. So if you want someone to feel as though you're giving them a lot of care and attention, you'll do that. You'll lean forward to show like, hey, look, I'm really interested in what you're saying. You know what I mean? So that is a learned behavior. Sure, I guarantee you there are people who can pick up on it more intrinsically than others, but you can learn that. You know what I mean? My RDC's taught me about body language better than anyone. Yeah. It's a significant thing. You know what I mean? And if you ever watch like criminal study videos, this place is pretty. You'll notice that they in the interrogation room they watch for body language. Like there's like self-soothing behavior where when the person is nervous or scared, they'll often like cross their arms and stuff like that, but they'll rub their arms a certain way It's like, it's called a self-soothing behavior. So now you know the person you're talking to is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And also another very strange, kind of like a random one that more often women do than men is when something... What the... when women are very stressed or like in awe and shock about something, they'll often put their fingers, their pointer fingers and their thumb near that little indent in your throat. You know that little collarbone circle area? They'll often, almost as if they're grabbing like a small necklace. They don't know why people do that, but people do. Like women like more often do that when they're stressed. They put their hands there for some reason. Another example is exposing the neck. Like when a woman like exposes her neck, it is more likely she's like very feeling comfortable and safe with you. It might even be attracted to you because she's exposing a very vulnerable area of your body. You know what I mean? And so even like shoulder posture, if your shoulders are really, really tight up to your neck and you look like you're cold, it's because like your nervous system's going off. You know what I mean? But if your shoulders are very relaxed, you're showing that you're a very secure individual, you know? So it is a learned behavior. I cross my arms often to rest them. Yeah. That's a common thing. I sometimes talk with my hands for some reason, like it's gonna help try and convey. No. We humans do talk with their hands, and that is something to make your words have more value. Is talking with your hands. Maybe I'm supposed to jump. You know what I mean? All right, jump. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, well, pro gamer moves. Other than non-English countries, I was able to guess what they were saying with a high degree of accuracy based on body language. Yeah, it's you can like the tonation of their voice. You know, that's also a big thing. So it's like mirror neurons or not, it can be learned. Like for example, some people, yes, are like would have perfect control over their voice and can sing really well just out of the womb essentially. But you can also train your vocal cords because they are muscles at the end of the day to become a better singer, you know? Absolutely, with the exposed neck thing. Also, another thing that a woman is like comfortable around you and they feel like vulnerability, like they're safe around you, is if like they're more likely to expose their wrists, you know? So that like lowers the for whatever reason, the inner wrists. Look at us, we're mountain climbers. Oh, flap. I have to constantly remind myself to relax my shoulders. Yeah, and so that's why you can look at someone's body language and tell if they're like an insecure person. Like if your default position is your shoulders are very hunched, your arms are crossed, and you're hiding your hands, you're just giving off the energy that you're literally insecure. But if you're standing back with your shoulders straight out, or nice, parallel, and straight, you look more confident even if you're not. So it's like you can even practice habits that quite literally make you feel more confident. I do the necklace thing too. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's very, that's one of my favorite things to study actually is body language, you know? Does anyone else stand slanted one foot? I think so. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I do lean to one side or the other, you know? I'm trying to think of other examples of body language. Okay, I did that. Now what? Hold on, where's my little guy? What the hell, Yante? I feel like I'm watching an episode of Lie to Me, although the whole plot of the show is spotting liars using body language. That sounds fun, actually. Is that a show? That sounds like a lot of fun to watch, actually. Any wrist lovers? I love wrists. I usually am leaning on stuff. I almost always hold a beverage or sorts. Yeah. Like, for example, and people can have specific, self-soothers, which are, like, behaviors you do to make you feel better. Like, for me, personally, I've noticed, like, when I've gone to, like, therapy for, like, PTSD stuff or whatever, I have a tendency to put my hand on my thigh and I'll draw out something I'm looking at with my finger, and it just for some reason it like makes me feel more calm. So it's like you can also like, it is person centric, you know what I mean? So perhaps if someone's noticed that every time I'm stressed I do that and they pick me up doing that again in the future, they're like, oh, Kao's just stressed, you know what I mean? All right, what is this? Oh, there we go. Wait, did I already do that? I forget. Look at us, pro gamers. Hunched over, arms closed off, no confidence. Yeah, and that's why, like, I always very stress people with bad posture to correct their posture, because that, like, the thing is that hunched over look shows almost like a sickness, because when you're sick, you're very, you're trying to retain body heat. So you're, like, you're closer to the console of your body and you're covering yourself. So you look sick. You look like you're unhealthy. You know, health is a very tied in with confidence. Where the France do we go now? Hold on. Where are we going? I sometimes cross my foot with standing for some reason. That to me is kind of like anxious body language. Like you're kind of, it's kind of like when people, when they're standing and they keep shifting the weight back and forth, back and forth. It's like one thing, I look so pretty in red. It's like one thing to do that when you're just shifting the weight to like alleviate pressure on like your knees. But if you're constantly kind of going back and forth, you look anxious, you know? Hey, look at us, pro gamers. What about standing with hands in pockets? I notice I do this pretty often, but I don't know what to think of it. It depends on your shoulder posture. If your shoulders are very like far back, it looks like you're relaxed. You know what I mean? A better thing to do also is show your thumbs. Like if you're showing your thumbs when you do it, you're literally more confident if you're hiding your hands, because like I don't know how to explain it. There is scientific reasoning behind it, but your hands are also very, very expressive of your like mental state or whatever. There's a huge ass fat ass spider in my sink. Take it out. Take him out back. I feel like most people use one foot to stabilize and swap between. Yeah. So it's like, it's a difference between like, you know, you're just kind of shifting every now and then. But if you're like constantly, you look like you're trying to leave the situation. Another good example is if you're sitting with people and their legs are like together or pointed in a certain direction, that's very likely the direction they want to be. Like they want to go. Like if you're talking to someone and you're sitting across from them and their legs are pointed away from you, they could feel like not comfortable with you. So quite literally, like you'll notice this sometimes. People, when they want to leave like an environment, say you have friends over or whatever, sometimes you'll literally see them put their legs towards the door where they're sitting because they want to head to the door, but they're not saying anything. So that's also something you can pick up on, you know? You know, like for example, like if you were in a social situation, you notice somebody is like, all their body language is pointing towards the door and they want to leave. You can be like, oh, you know, hey, it's getting kind of late. You know, how are you feeling? And they might be like, oh, you know, I think it was getting late too. I'm ready to leave. That's you being considerate of why they want to leave the situation. Am I just growing flowers here? Red Yoza. There's a tip I heard about figuring out how someone's lying. Watch their behaviors when you ask them a question about things they would tell the truth about and why they lie, and shift to actual questions. Yeah, that's a good one, but technically, how are you knowing they're lying with the question? You know what I mean? If you don't know if they're lying. But like a classic misconception is the whole looking to the side thing. That's over characterized. Like if someone's lying, they'll look to the side, because often when people are thinking about something, they look up. So it could be they're thinking about the absolute truth and be like, okay, how do I explain this? Like where we're like, okay, so perhaps I was framed for murder on Thursday, and they're like, where were you Thursday? I know they're asking an important question, so I'm like, let me give them an example of exactly where I was. I was at my iPad drawing. You know what I mean? So you can't really use that as an indicator, but that is like another example of that can be a place. Oh, look at this. Yeehaw! Do you study body language to improve your art? I don't study anything to improve my art. No, I do really like learning about people and being able to communicate with them more. That's why I study body language, you know? You can become a very effective communicator if you can read body language. Because I do truly like connecting with people. I like people. I like portraying in a way. No! Okay. I like letting people like know that they their feelings and stuff are valid. You know what I mean? Like I understand what they're going through. Lying is an art. It really is. It really is. How do I start commissions? You have to be a good artist first, you know? And you'll kind of know because people will ask you, hey, do you accept commissions? That's a good indicator of it. I think during our many family photos, a photographer would have me pose my hands in my pockets, so I might have gotten comfortable doing that because of that. Yeah, photographers like are kind of hit or miss with that. Because something that looks good visually is like a little different than communication. Oh no, don't tell me this thing is stuck. Oh, thank God. Okay. Would love to write a short about a master manipulator and lying, but I lack the imagination for it. I think you lack the expertise for it more so. As in, like, you wouldn't even know what a master liar looks like. Yeehaw, look at us. So you couldn't really write about it. I'm pretty good, all things considered, toxic as hell, but I'm pretty good at lying, you know? But that's because, I've studied human behavior and I know what indicates telling the truth. You know what I mean? So now that I know what it looks like when a human is telling the truth, I can do that while I'm lying, you know? You can become evil. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But in order to write about something like that, you have to have more information about it. As I'm always saying, promoting lying. Or promoting lying. Promoting learning. You know? Does anyone else practice excuses for what happens in their head? I do that all the time. I do that all the time. I always justify myself. And it could be because you were in a childhood environment where your parents often got angry. They got angry too quickly before you could explain yourself. So you're always getting ready with an explanation. I know that was me personally. Not always the case for everybody, but that could be a reason. All right, we got this guy. We got this bloke taken care of. All right, now where to next? I do know from experience that lying is easier when you sprinkle in small truthful details to make it more convincing. Yeah, and there's like lying by omission. There's not telling the whole truth. Like, I used to do it a lot earlier on. Like a good way to lie is... Oh, fuck. I'm trying to think of a good example. Is if someone's like, did you eat this cookie? And you're like, I had a salad today, you know? I've been trying to watch my diet. That's like a great example of deflection, where I didn't say I didn't eat the cookie. I just brought up a salad, and so that kind of like hints towards the fact I'm on a diet, so it makes me less likely to have eaten the cookie. You know what I mean? Bad example, but I think you get the gist, you know? I don't post anything, though. Then how are you gonna want people to, pay you to draw when you don't even post your artwork so they can see what you can draw? Ooh, I see some flowers over here. Maybe this is it. Yeehaw! You know? Toxic, you say. You know what I mean? I don't know if we'd gotten this one yet already, but either way. Liars are good at spotting other liars. Who would have thought? Yeah! I can tell when people are lying. I can tell. And I can tell when people are being fake and they're, like, holding back. Like, if they're not telling the truth with themselves. Lying by omission is usually how I end up doing it. I don't like to lie, so it makes it more palatable. Yeah, exactly. You know, and there's other times, like, to me personally, I've always said, because humans lie. That's just in their behavior, you know? You have to understand, like, human behavior exists for a reason. And people tell lies for different reasons. If I catch them in a lie, I'm less worried about them lying and more so worried about, like, what was the reason they lied? Was it because they were insecure? You know? If they are doing it because they're insecure, I can't really fault them because it means they wanted to keep a good image of themselves, in my, perspective. You know what I mean? So I would not be upset if someone lied to me to make themselves look better. Because I'm clever enough to find the lie anyway. And if I'm not, it's my fault. If I can't tell someone's lying, skill issue. You know, that's on me. That's why I'm asking. You gotta start posting your artwork. You know, like, how can people know a product is to be bought if they don't even see the product? You know what I mean? No, I didn't eat a cookie. As I say, there cookie dust at my fingertips. Lie by telling the truth. Yeah, you can do that too, you know? Alright, we got this. What the hell is this red in the sky, by the way? This blood of tears. Actually, where is he? Okay. I think I took care of this one, though. I thought? So you're lying about your diet. Let's calm it down, Cypher. Let's calm it down. Lying by telling the truth from an unexpected angle is another. That's what I was just meant, like, about the whole cookie thing. It's like, you didn't necessarily deny you ate the cookie. You just said, like, no, I had a... Well, you don't really say no, but it's like, oh, I just had a salad for lunch. That'd be a good way to do it. So, for example, you'll be lucky to get this person to work for you, but in the case, the twist, the person is lazy and assume they're a SAR employee. I'm a little confused about that. But in this case, the twist is the person is lazy, but assuming they're a star employee. I mean, if you don't notice that somebody is lazy based on, like, behavior, it's like, that's your job to kind of, like, observe them and see, like, is this a good fit for my company? You know? It's based on an old joke. Oh, I see. Damn. Why is this game... Is this a puzzle game? I'm assuming this is a puzzle game. This is hard. What now? Let's use a tail. Uh-oh, it's saying I'm on my own. It's not directing me. What time is it? 10? Let me see real quick. Hold on. I hope our dear torpedo's doing okay. I was just trying to do the math for the time. When Tasato went to surgery. I'm sleepy, it's only 6 p.m. I see, I see. Why is the dog always yapping? My brain isn't made for puzzles. You and my both, you know what I mean? So the ex-employee told the new employee that he'd be lucky to get the guy to work for him. Oh, I see what you're saying. But in the reality, it's like it was never a thing. Like he would be lucky because that person doesn't exist. I think I get it. Oh no. This is hard. This is hard. France! Couldn't say he was lazy and worthless, so he told the truth, but in a phrase that made people assume he's a hard worker. Yeah, exactly. That's a good example of, what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's definitely not mirror neurons that is the sole contributor to a person's ability to be whatever. Okay, there we go. Thank God. I don't even know if this is the right way. Oh, I didn't know I could run. Dumb. All this stuff makes it so much better now. Okay, X. What the hell, Yante? What the hell-y? Okay, maybe it is this way. I don't remember if this is where I came. I don't think so. I already gotten this one? A. Okay, it's giving me a red, so I probably already did that. Damn, this is hard. This game is so hard. What is this? Maybe this is something. X. Yeehaw! Look at us. Where is our torpedo? Is he alive? Do you like the game so far? I really do. It's a little hard for me because I'm a little slow. But slowly but surely I'm figuring it out. Like, how the hell do I get up there? Slowly but surely I'm figuring it out. But I'm also slowly checking out. You know what I mean? I don't know what people's normal stamina is for games. How the hell do I get up there? It seems pretty chill. Yeah, I do like it in that regard. I always get compared to this other girl who I look nothing like. It's so annoying. Who's comparing you? You always, whenever something happens that you disagree with, you must always consider the source. Who is it that's comparing you? Quiet quitting the game, you know what I mean? Well, also, I'm like, damn, it's getting kind of late. Where is Tasato? You know what I mean? Like, is he alive and kicking right now? Like, I'm like high-key stressed. High-key. You know, so I'm like, oh, let me pretend to, be super interested in this game. When Tasato could be like, you know, with the great maker in the sky right now. That's so sad. I can't believe I even said that out loud. I'm not saying that. I take it back. Redaction. Tasato's fine, I promise. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it's very routine, normal surgery. Okay. Tasato all groggy from the anesthesia. You know, he would not be PR friendly. Going out of it. Why would you even say that? I know, I was like, why the hell would I even say that out loud? You know what I mean? Like, that was horrible. Like, I don't even want to think about that. Alright, there we go. If it was me, I'd be here mid-surgery. Stop, you would be, first of all. You know, you would have the stream on your phone, like on your lap. You know what I mean? Okay, okay, we got this. This is so hard. I'm so slow. Okay. The rocks fell down. Now I'm supposed to jump up there. We all, this is just chatting stream loosely disguised as the gameplay stream. Exactly. I know you guys are certainly not here. Nobody comes to me for the gameplay. You know what I mean? If you wanted to be like, if I like rage bait people, ooh, that was a good jump with my gameplay. If you've like been like, oh, how can I watch the most insufferable bitch play a video game while being brain dead? Let me tune into KOs though, you know what I mean? It's mostly people who know my friend because the girl I get compared to is her friend. Like her girlfriend asked if I was her friend the other day. Okay, so it sounds like just low quality people, you know what I mean? Just ignore them. It's gonna happen in life. It's okay, you're just worried and just nervous. Kanye rambling. Kanye rambling, what the? What the? Nervous Kanye rambling. You're funny sometimes. That'd be funny if I could take back the staff. Top gamer here. There we go, look at that. See, I'm not gonna lie, my life is just process of elimination. Like, at some point I'll find the path. I don't want to say what kind of dog they're operating on Tasato. Oh god. Tasato will survive. Will thrive. I'm not gonna lie though, when I had my nose surgery, I was like in and out of consciousness for like 48 hours after it. Like, there is no way I was able to even like process information. You know? What happened? Oh, Tasato is a big person in our community. Big quite literally, considering he's 6'7". And he's having surgery, a nose surgery right now. Like a kind of like a reconstruction surgery in a way, because he broke his nose as a kid. But also like a deviated septum he's fixing, so he can breathe better. Ooh, I'm floating. And this is like the first time he's been like being put under anesthesia to a degree. What the? How do I get up there? Okay. So he should be technically waking up here soon, but you know, nothing yet. Dang, I didn't think I'll check off Kanye like rambling on a K stream. Gotta mark that off the bingo card. You know what I mean? Kanye rambling. Kanye does not think before he speaks. And I think high-key that's a big part of his charisma. Okay, it literally like... Hold on. It tells me to go here, but then like, does nothing. So nose surgery isn't you? No. So I did have my own personal nose surgery. I had a septoplasty, rhinoplasty, and whatever it's called, where I had this weird bone disorder called bone structure rather, called concha bullosa. It's where inside my nasal cavities bones were growing balloons. So the balloons were growing out of bone and they were clogging up my nose and I couldn't breathe out of my nose. So I had to have surgery where they literally like took pliers in my nose and then ripped out like and crushed the bone so I can get air back in through there. And I almost died during that surgery. But Tasato is just having a septoplasty, which is that like that flesh in between the middle of your nose. You know what I mean? Like that little thing that you kind of move. That's getting straightened. But his was like a more significant deviated septum. Kanye, I think, has those issues big time. Kanye's funny. It's all fine, but who else is gonna carry the boat? You know what I mean? Exactly. Alright, so everything flooded. Maybe it's just, you know, flooding. Nose bone balloon surgery. It was wild. It was wild. It was incredibly painful. I had 2 surgeries. I had one where I was awake. Oh, look at this. Our little guy's back. And then, oh, wait a minute. I just realized I'm not a spirit fox anymore. I'm a red one. I'm the slowest video game player in the world. I just realized we're no longer spirit. But, yeah, it was just this really weird bone growth called concha bullosa. Kraken, don't worry, I'll drive the boats. I know a boat master. Hell yeah. Alright, I don't know. Oh, this is pretty. I don't think I've been here yet. Alright. Whoa. Hey. Okay, can't do that. Can't do that. Okie dokie. Okay, so we have... Okay, now I'm spirit again. What is going on here? Am I just slow? What the hell, Yante? I'm rooting for KOs. I'm working on building resistance to the mean motion sickness. Yeah, I will say, like, again, like, if as long as I have the screen really small, I seem to be, like, making this work. You know? Gotta head out. Thanks for the chill time. Thank you for being here, Lethal Pan. Alright, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. BRB. I forgot to unmute myself. I returned. Can't wait to see you top frag in Tarkov. Maybe. Sato! Hi! I have my belongings now. He's alive! You guys, he's alive! Yay! Alright, now I can end stream. Hell yeah. Yay, Tasato is alive! 1 minute, 7 seconds. Tasato, are you conscious? Are you good? God forbid a fox girl tries to get a little motion. You know what I mean? Welcome back! Yay! Yay, Tasato's alive! I'm so glad. I was getting mad stressed, not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, my stomach's hurting. You made it. Tasato made it out. Welcome back. Tasato, she was so worried. She almost cried. Listen here, calm it down. Calm it down, Dark Fingers. Thank you, my dear. So I don't have to be delusional anymore. Tasato, you should have seen it. When you were unconscious and not with the world, people were trying to take your spots left and right. Unbelievable. Poor Tasato. Oh, I'm so glad you're alive. Guys, season 2 of KO's whatever, KO's a channel, ongoing. The show's still going. We had an almost cancellation. We almost got canceled, but we're back. We're back. Welcome home, Tasato. Tsundere. Oh god, Tasato was fighting for your life. KO's for you. You're so funny. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm so glad. He's alive, you guys. He's alive. I can't even almost die in peace without these vultures. Unbelievable. Men. She was slowly stressing out, constantly checking the time to see. I know, I kept looking at my phone. You know, I was like, you know, let me go. I gotta use the restroom real quick. You know, totally not like checking the Discord just in case. You know, just in case you popped in there first. Let's all gather around and sing Tasato. You're so funny. We did a little prayer for you, Tasato. I forget who it was specifically, but someone led a prayer for you. Howdy, everybody. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? I wish I could get a reaction like that for real, for real. You have to just be here for a long period of time, you know what I mean? Like, for example, if Dark Virus was gonna get weight loss surgery, we'd feel the exact same way. Because that is our token 290 pounder. You know what I mean? We love Dark Virus around here. Tosado! Exactly. I finished Nero's magical dress, I think. Cool! Like, where the hell am I even at? Terrible, honestly? That's fair. At least you're coherent, like you can speak. Yay! Yay, I'm so happy. Tasato's alive. It was Concho! That's right, Concho who led a prayer for Tasato. Exactly. We sped a little prayer for you. I was like, I'm not taking any chances. You know what I mean? What is it? No atheists and foxholes? Really makes you think. Really makes you think. I told my chest hurt the next day. You're like, are you alive? Yeah, I was worried. I was like, oh god, the chest pain. I'm like, let's just do a pulse check real quick. And how many times a debunked user I've like like absolutely ripped into him live, and I'm like, okay, let me go figure out if he's still alive. You know? Already bled through like 10 gauze pads. That sounds about right. Do you have that little strip that like goes around like your ears to hold it all together? Yay, Tasato is alive. Man. So how did it feel going unconscious? I love how I just randomly jump and then I come across like a button to press. This is all just process of elimination here. Means you have good blood flow, hell yeah. Anyway, for us to help Tasato, how can we help you? I bet you're not hungry. I was like, I can technically dox you and order you some food. Yep. Oh, France, I already forgot what I said yep to. Or what you said yep to. What did I ask? Let me think, Where the flip am I going? I woke up but could tell quite a bit of time had passed. Really? That's interesting. It felt like I fast traveled through time. For me, when I got my wisdom teeth removed, I watched the walls melt and lose color. That's kind of cool. Like, I remember, like, when I did my nose surgery, they put in the thing to get me to fall asleep, and right as I was falling asleep, I was wearing, like, a nurse's gown, like, you know what I mean, the medical gown, and, the nurses, they were dudes, they, like, ripped open my, my shirt, and, like, exposed my chest, and I was like, what the? And I just passed out. But it's like, I realize now it was probably because of the, they put electrodes and stuff like that on your body, so they can, you know, track you. But I'm like, I just like flashed this entire like team and it's all men here, what the? I only had local for my wisdom teeth. Yeah, I did not want to be put under for my wisdom teeth. And in fact, actually they just ripped out one of my, because it was one of the teeth that came out already. So they just ripped it out and they didn't even sew up the hole. You asked if Tasato was giving the tube thing to hold his nose to his face. Oh, that's right. Thank you. I'm so slow sometimes. Alright, where the hell do we go now? I forget what I'm saying. How are you? Hello, Samantha. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good today. I'm doing great now. I was worried because Tasato had to be put into surgery. I'm like, no. I'm gonna lose a Donatachi. I'm gonna lose a CCV number. But thankfully he's still alive. Gives Tasato a buddy pizza with the pepperoni making a tea. You're so kind. Stargazers. But speaking of Stargazer, I forgot if you answered or not. Have you considered more seriously the military? It's a lucrative option. It's a great option. It's a good one. I gotta cough again. Hold on. No, you aren't slow, okay? You're gaming and having 3 different conversations at once. That's true. Perhaps. I like the dignity preservation you did for me. Oh, look at that. Just come across with another one. This is hilarious. Yeah, no, Tasato, someone screenshotted my attempts delusion of grandeur with KO. You're so funny, communist crusader. Need some water. I might have to grab some more water. Oh! I have water in my tea kettle. Hold on real quick. I'll pour that in my water cup and make me a cup of tea. Yeehaw! Genius right here. Tea time. Why is my cough so bad today? Give me a second. Maybe because I haven't taken my inhaler. Calling another man funny while I'm struggling, huh? No. You're drama. I love how you're psyoping me, Tasato, into caring so much about you. Unbelievable. I'm being mass manipulated, you guys. Give me a second. I gotta get my inhaler. My internet will be horrible in a few minutes because my grandma's gonna be video chatting a doctor. That's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's totally fine. You know, if your internet goes down. That sounds important for your grandma. You know what I mean? Group hugs for Tasato, exactly. How is everyone? I'm doing pretty good now, all things considered. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just trying to do my Halo real quick. Hold on. So I'm playing the long game. Doing good. Well, same. I'm mixed myself. You're mixed as well? I love my little mixies. I'm a mixie as well. Alright, where the France I go? Yeehaw. It's just, flowers just keep spawning. I'm mixed too, hell yeah. Look at all my mixed ethnicities in chat. I love you, Kaoza. Oh, look at you, Tizato. Well, I mean like mixed emotions. Oh, okay. Okay, fair. You should add to your video description, he's back. Alright, I'll change the thing. Hold on. Our beloved class pet has returned. Yeehaw. Hold on, I gotta get my tea real quick. Hail to all the mixies! Hail to all the mixies! Make myself some nice tea. Yeehaw! Unless you counts NSIPs, call me US, Canadian, Indian descent. Why not? Why not? You know? Tea time, baby! But why are you feeling mixed emotions? Communist Crusader. I like hearing about you guys' emotions. It's funny, I want to do like dedicated like therapy streams or whatever, but like come here and talk about your problems. But it'd be so funny and so awkward if I did that and like nobody nobody like opened up, so I'm just like sitting here like waiting for chat, be like, alright, someone start talking. You know what I mean? Maybe we wait till I have a little more followers for that one, you know what I mean? I'll flip, I spill some water. Did you microwave your tea? I have a tea pot. I have a tea kettle that warms up water. And then like a little teacup that like filters it. You know what I mean? Mental health streams. Yeah, I kind of did that for a while. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Frostfire. How are you doing? I'm gonna go struggle through today. I already know, but I'm always excited because I have a hefty lifting opportunity. Given that I'll be moving a lot of canned goods and pantry stuff. That sounds exciting. Are you doing some sort of charity work? It kind of sounds like it. We gotta bottle it up. Says Tracer Zero. Another green tea. See, it's just all you're losing your brand integrity. Look at all the green teas in chat. Oh, get it, green tea, like tea. We gotta bottle it up. You gotta let your emotions run free. You know, confess your emotions to the blue funny fox on the internet. It's a kettle today. Listen, it's the tea maker. I'm sorry. It's the tea maker is what makes the tea. The fox wants to learn our emotions, the better to manipulate them. I do love studying human behavior. But a lot of emotions are kind of like misplaced. And people are just kind of like handling them improperly. So talking them out can help you a lot. It's certainly complicated. I'd say 1 AM I have you done with a CCNA, but I feel like I should be productive also due to the fact my buddy's place, his relationship with his wife. Whoa. Whoa. How is his relationship with his wife? It's just cute, so it's hard to be in single around that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like relationship envy. No charity work, just moving the pantry into a smaller room. Okay. Okay, we're kind of like the controller's vibrating. What is going on here? Okay, that doesn't do anything. I just heard a beep in the background. I was about to be like, damn, we really do like microwave tea. No, it was my my tea maker kettle. Ready to go. I'm the genuine article. Sato first, me second, and then we have like someone called like something tea, I think, who also is a green tea. See, look at this, Tasato. You're creating all these green teas. I saw SM do an advice stream on via Google form thing, something more private. I do also want to do that. Use like anonymous submissions as well, because like there's like a, I think it's called Tell on Me. It's like you can like 100% submit a comment or something anonymously, and I think that would be a good fun stream. But we'll also be doing a confession stream, I think, around the 1st. What am I doing? Studying human behavior isn't solely just to manipulate them, but to read people better, understand them, defend them defend yourself from manipulation. Exactly. I do truly want to build stronger individuals in this world, because like I can't sit here and complain that, oh, society is so shitty, society is so bad nowadays, and just do absolutely nothing about it. It's very small. because I have a very small footprint in the world, but I can help people get stronger and better, live better lives. I can improve the world. I can't improve the world, but I can improve the worlds of people. You know what I mean? I can improve their worlds. And so that's what I do. Sweet tea, that's what I thought. I don't microwave tea, just boil water first, then put tea bag. I'm doing the loose leaf, actually. I only read the second part of the Communist Crusader and then thought about me and Kyoza. Oh, man. Oh. You're so funny. I also had tea. I'm dying extreme sick or something. My voice and my chest hurts. Interesting. I was feeling... I keep getting this wave of nausea where I'm like bent over and I can't move, and then it goes by. Fox playing Fox. Exactly. Fox playing Fox Simulator. So I don't know, it's such a mixture of emotions right now in my life. I just don't know what I'm doing, so I sit and do nothing. See, that's the worst thing you want to do. So obviously your goal is to be in a relationship because you're envious of other people in a relationship. That's fair and valid and normal. You know what I mean? So now you need to start working on yourself that can make you more attractive to a partner. You know what I mean? You have to start small steps. Like when I get envious of another VTuber, because I'm like, oh, look how successful they are. I need to look and be like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me wanting to be successful, and now let me try and learn from them and change my behavior so I can become more successful. You know what I mean? You can only help those who want to be helped. That too. That too. Because there are some people who it's like, we've seen it firsthand in my community, where they want to complain and they just want somebody to give them attention. They just want to be doted on like a child, and they don't actually want to improve themselves. You know what I mean? Chai tea. You'd be surprised how many Marine vets called the current Sergeant Major of the Marine weak because he said we needed to care about mental health. Yeah, it's just corny. To me, I will say, talking about mental health, it's such a stigmatized word, saying mental health. In me, my first opinion, it sounds very pussy. It sounds very bitchy baby, goo goo gaga, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? It's like you can approach mental health in a way that's not so coddling to people. And I think that's the problem, is when most people talk about mental health, they talk about it in a very infantilizing way and people coddle you. Like there's absolutely nothing worse. And that's why it's like I intermittently bring up my mental health, because it's just like I just want to kind of explain my behavior and actions. But I hate when they find out I'm bipolar and they start like almost babying me, and I'm like, I'm a grown man. Listen here, I don't do any of that mentally ill stuff. You know what I mean? So I can understand it. It's just because like it's such a stigmatized word right now, and a lot of people do weaponize it, where they're like, oh, you can't say that to me because I have mental health problems. You know what I mean? So I can get it. It's kind of like how bipolar for like the longest time was like, people like, these people are monsters. You know what I mean? It's like I technically get it. You know. You can't save everyone, unfortunately. Punctuations are scary. Oh god, that guy. That guy. May he live in infamy. Is this just Chaos's average life? Yes, getting lost and barking. But eventually, I'll figure out the solution. It's exactly my life, you know? I'm late. Is Sasato back? Yes, he is. He actually just returned probably 10 minutes ago. He is back. And welcome, J Master K Bay. Me, because sometimes I just need someone to sympathize for me. But why is that? Sometimes, like when you're expecting someone to sympathize for you, it just means you have low confidence, you know? You're placing your emotional dependence on someone else when it should be, you should reflect on the fact that you're having emotional problems that are based in low confidence, and you should work on building your confidence, you know what I mean? Because like I know like sometimes like I am needy and I need attention, and I'm like, you know what? That's because I'm feeling insecure right now. You know, so like, what can I do to make myself not feel so insecure? Poor Darkstar! Yeah, you know what I mean? That was just like a... You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The barking is in the game. I thought it was delusional. Yeah, no, I can bark, see? Little guy. I thought it was a neighbor's dog, you know what I mean? I do have low confidence. So like now, rather than like making that someone else's problem, which is like you doing attention-seeking behavior, or hoping someone else can fix you, because like when people base their confidence in others and like they're seeking validation, it is very, very unhealthy. It's like the same unhealthy level when people are stressed and they start munching, they start eating, they start developing a binge eating disorder, exhibit A dark virus. So it's like that's also unhealthy too. So you need to start recognizing you're a low confident individual. A lot of people struggle with low confidence. But you need to start finding ways to build your confidence. I swear to God, like, I already lit these guys up. Whatever. Alright, whatever. Hello, Kale. Hello, everyone. Glad the operation went well. I know. What did I miss anyway? Just me yapping the entire time, and as the time passed, I got more and more anxious because I'm like, oh God. I did not just lose. I did not lose a number for my CCV. But Tasato's back and healthy, so that's good. I'm just a kid, though. Is it normal for me to need validation? It's really not. I will say, and it depends on how you seek validation. You know, you can seek validation. How the hell am I supposed to get up there? In a way that's healthy? Like, you can work hard for something, you know? And then you'll get validation from your hard work. But if you're just, like, basically saying, like, guys, I'm so dumb. And you're, like, waiting for somebody to say, like, no, you're not dumb because you need that kind of validation. Unhealthy. You know, but children can be very secure. I was very secure as a kid. You know, I knew what I was about. I knew my strengths. I knew my weaknesses. And I was very realistic about them. My Tamagotchi was here when I got home. Yay! Yay! So funny enough, my batteries died in my Tamagotchi. I think like, I want to say like 4 days ago. And I was like, I'm going to wait till Tasato gets his and I'll put my batteries back in. Yeehaw! I used to walk when I was bored. This new neighborhood has no sidewalks, just roads. That does suck when that happens. Like, I swear to God, I thought we already, like, lit these guys up. What is going on here? I knew cared. I'll chalk the response as a win for my boy. Oh, God. Oh, God, listen here. I'd do the same for anybody. If Dark Virus was doing weight loss surgery, I'd feel the same way. I was secure than my mother. Kale's already had the confidence stats max as a kid. It was, I don't know, like, and again, not to toot my own horn, but it's like, I've always been very realistic. I knew my weaknesses and I knew my strengths, so I played into my strengths. Like, I wasn't very social as a kid. I was very shy. I was very quiet. I could not understand the popularity games and how to understand the popular kids, so I'd be very quiet and reserved in the back of the room, and I wouldn't really say anything to anybody. But I knew when it was come time for us to do a class project and there was art involved, everybody knew I could draw, and I'm like, oh, this is my time to shine. And then suddenly, all these quote-unquote fake kids who didn't talk to me before started talking to me because they want me on their team. I understand they're just doing that because it's like, that's like how resources and human behavior is, you know? When you bring value to somebody, people are going to like you, you know? So if you build up traits and characteristics that make you more valuable to other people, more people are going to like you. You know, a lot of people like these little rappers and stuff like that because they talk about things that give the listener confidence. They don't just like them because of whatever. Like, you want someone to feel something with your actions and behavior. You know, I eat when I'm bored. Very unhealthy, technically. I do the same thing, don't get me wrong. But very unhealthy. I ended up moving a lot, so I lost a lot of friends very quickly, so I got really anxious as a child. That affects me to this day extent. Yeah, I think I counted it. I had like 8 or 9 homes as a child because, military family and just drama. Drama, to say the least. So I know what you mean. But the funniest thing that came out of it, though, the funniest thing that came out of the fact that I kept moving is I moved from Texas to Tennessee in the 5th grade. And in Texas, you learn pi, like the 3.4, in 5th grade. But in Tennessee, you learn it in 4th grade. So I never learned pi. And I always thought that was really funny. Because the curriculums were different. So I just literally never learned pi or whatever the hell it is. 3.14. Yeah. Ain't it 3? Whatever that is. Yeah, I never learned it just because I kept moving. When this user sends this message, then her bestie served a scam member joined today. Raina, what on earth? What on earth are you going on about, Raina? Funny enough, along with strangers, I can make myself seem decent enough to look competent, but when my family's around, I look like I'm sabotaging myself since I know they low-key expect me to mess up. Yeah, that overthinking is another thing. A lot of times people can confide in strangers because what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose because these people don't know you. They don't expect anything out of you, so that's very normal. You know what I mean? That's why, like, you know, people will feel more inclined or feel more comfortable opening up to me, which is a stranger in their life, because, like, I don't expect anything out of them, you know what I mean? I moved once or twice a year every year for, like, years. Yeah, that's fair. It does happen, but it's like, to me, I just became really reserved from it. I just watched someone power scale Santa. How are things going? Eating something? No, I'm drinking some tea. I'm drinking some tea. But shout out to Santa Claus. Like, you had to memorize a big bit of pie? No, just like how to tell the circumference of like a circle or something like that. Because I think that's what pi really is, right? Like how to like understand like the circumference of whatever. I never learned that. Look at that. Again, we just randomly come up into these little spots. Who's the Donut Bestie's favorite class pet? Is it Toast? It is Raina. He had a nose reconstruction surgery today. And I was afraid because it's the first time he's been put under. But he's alive and kicking. He just came back to us, Raina. Thank God. Alright, what the hell am I doing? What the? Why am I like, I keep like shifting away. Alright, I'll just walk away while it's lit up. Okay. Shout out to Santa Claus for having the fastest feats of all time. Watch the circle song. Okay. Thought that was a spoon hitting a plate. No, it was like part of my little tea diffuser thing. Hi Raina, groggy and tired and pain, but I'm okay. Oh, Sato. I gotta do my best for the class pet favorite, but the baby timeline won't let me. The baby timeline. The baby timeline. Where are we going? Alright. I'm so brain dead when it comes to this game. Navy. Oh. The Navy. Okay. How bad is the pain, Torpedo? Have you got lost anymore in this game? I'm still lost as of right now. Like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? What the? Maybe it's leading me towards somewhere. What the? Sweet. Anyway, I was yapping at something that happened in my YouTube best friend's Discord server. What happened, Raina? Did like a scam get in? A scammer? It just feels like a ton of pressure. That sounds about right. Oh. It collapsed. That does sound about right, though. What? What the? Okay. Tasato. Yeah, Tasato's alive. And welcome back, Crispy Clee. I went to change schooling and stuff a lot. I did public school 3rd grade and homeschool back and forth. I don't have many friends. You don't necessarily need friends. I will say, I've never been I've always been a very independent person, so I've never really had a whole lot of friends. First of all, I've never had a bunch of friends at once, but when I just did, I like stuck with like one person, you know what I mean? Yep, a scammer found on their way in, sadly. Man, Raina, that's tough. That's a relief. I know, right? Howdy, Crispy Clee, I lived. Okay, maybe we do this. Okay, okay, okay. We got it! Look at this. We are so good at this. Almost jumped off the edge. We are so good at this. That feel when Tasato's knee surgery is tomorrow, honestly. Honestly, that might be next. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Tasato back and better than ever. Exactly. He's here the, where am I supposed to go now? All the way over there. Fuck, I forgot to jump! Killing myself. Oh god, now I gotta remember how to get all the way over there. I'm the worst. Kobe. I know, I forgot to jump. Poor Chaos, I know. So Stottle can I have a high five? Stottle give gluten-free acrylic paint a high five. Oh god. I forgot which one was jump. Alright, lead me blue circle again. The spirit is like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh god, this bitch again. Okay, phew, that was close. Learning to be comfortable with being alone is extremely valuable. Just know there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. Yeah, 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 for sure. I 100% agree. And again, like, if you just work on, like... The way to work on your confidence is to build skill sets that make you proud of what you've accomplished. You know? A lot of people need to build more skill to get confidence. Okay, where am I going to now, my dear? I'm supposed to jump up here, maybe? Nope, I can't jump. Okay, do I... Okay. Hold on. What is going on here? What the hell, Yante? There was a scammer? I think in Raina's Discord. My phone was on 1%. High fives all around. Okay. Okay, jump is this one. Okay. Maybe I jump across? Alright, let's try it. Okay, now we're... Okay, so I think this might be the... Do I jump? Can I jump across? We're about to find out. Yeehaw, look at that! Okay, more flowers. Can I get down here? I can. Should I make a fruit latte? Fruit latte? What the hell is a fruit latte? That sounds kind of interesting. I'm glad to hear you're alive, my dear Tasato. Where would this entire community be without you? Okay, where am I supposed to go now? It's crushed or blended fruit with milk. That's certainly interesting. Okay, I can't hit that. Do I... Oh, maybe over here. Isn't that just a smoothie? Actually. You know, you might be onto something. Wasn't my Discord though, it was a YouTube friend server. I see, Raina, I see. Crazy stuff. Finally, movement. The water's drowning over here. Oh, you hate it. Isn't that just a smoothie? That's actually really funny. Alright. This lowered the water. Oh, brother. Don't tell me we have to look for all the sticks to make the water lessen so I can go in there. The glowing sticks. This is a tough game. Okay, maybe this is something. Look at this. Pro gamers. Okay, no. The music's picking up, but I can't even hit X. For me, smoothies have a bunch of fruit and yogurt. I can't see anything else as a smoothie. I see. Gamer Yoza, look at me. Look at me. Tea time! Nice warm tea. It always feels nice in my throat. Okay, what the hell, Leonte, was that? I tried to send a super chat, but it charged my card and it's in the message. That's fine. I gotta get back to work. Have a good stream. Thank you, Chris Bickley. The thought counts. The thought counts. Thank you. That's so funny. Okay, but why can I take a... Oh! Oh, look, I just took it. Okay, so that's why I'm glowing. I can... Maybe I get it. Drinking tea to think of me. Drama. Drawing fuels my stomach. I don't need to eat. Hell yeah. Me when I'm manic. I still can't... Okay, there we go. Look at us. Genius. Wait. Oh, I didn't realize. We're taking that spirit away. That's why sometimes we have it and sometimes we don't. Why am I so slow? Like, this attention to detail stuff, it doesn't work with me. Oh, I just lost my spirit, though. Oh, came back. Okay. We are so back. Not all who wander are lost, except KO. She's lost as fuck. Exactly. I'm always lost. Does anyone like Madoka? I do. Sayaka Miki was my favorite ex. Look at us. We're so smart. Okay, water's lessening. Oh, brother. I gotta go find out how to get over there. It's very interesting that people enjoy these kinds of games. Like, this is like so stressful for me. I had a friend back in high school, junior high, high school, but felt like they had to be my friend because of my disability. You felt like they were forcibly... What made you... What part of their behavior made you feel that way, Reina? I do wonder. Oh, look at this guy. A dead body. Huh. Which one is the yellow-haired one and the red-haired one? Mami Tomoe is the yellow-haired one, and Kyoko Sakura is the red-haired one. I did like Kyoko. I hated her when she first popped up, but then I liked her. Alright, let's do this. Look at us. We're the fox master around here. Alright, can I get it back? Give it back. Wait a minute, why can't I jump? Okay. What the? Okay, I guess that was a glitch or something. Okay, X. Nope, I have to go get it. This is a really fun game, though. I didn't pay a whole lot for it. I forgot how much I paid. It was on sale. But, all things considered, I think it's really pretty. There we go. I think I like the yellow-haired girl the best, I think, and then she died the same episode. Yeah, that is true. Look at us. Look at us. Yeehaw. True gamer moment. Finally, somewhere new. God, that took forever. Man, I am tired. I think I've had like a full energy drink. Actually, I don't remember I had a full energy drink. I think I opened it and put it in the fridge. I don't think I finished it after that. Beepy fox. I am sleepy. I only got like 5-something hours of sleep. That sucked. Okay, where are we going now? Okay, maybe this direction. I always forget you can run. Okay. I swear to God, if I find a staff and I have to bring it all the way to that body, I'm gonna lose it. Why do I have no glowy? I'm hungry, but I don't want to cook unless my parents leave the kitchen. That's fair and real. I go to surgery one time and you take the opportunity to drink an energy drink. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Alright, how do I know if this game saves or not? More options. Alright. I think I'm gonna be done with this game. This game is tough. Just how should I stream more? And if I stream, what should I stream? What should I stream? Or can I be relieved of my duty? What have you been watching lately? Me? I don't really watch anything, really. I don't. Couldn't sleep while worrying about Tasato. Listen here, my tummy hurt. Tummy hurt is what that was. You know? Exit options. I'm tough, hell yeah. Game only tough because it takes all your brain power. I know. You know what I mean? This is tough. This is tough, but who knows? Because back then I was too in my own head to consider things. It is possible, Reina. It is possible. At least you seem like a greater individual now. You know? I love Reina. Poor Chaos, it's tough out here. I want to take a big bite out of my iPad. What the? What the? How long have you been streaming for? 3 hours and 20 minutes, actually. I do have to do some work, though. What is today? Friday? I might stream again tomorrow. If I don't think Clee's still here. I might have to have a come to Jesus session with his brother. 3 hours? I relieve you. Oh, how sweet. I can stop streaming. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. 3 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Thought stream began at 9 AM EST. I think it was 9 AM PST. No, just kidding. I don't know my time right now. I started at 7:30. Alright, but I think we'll have to call it a stream. It was fun doing a morning stream. I might have to do this more often. But I'll be hanging out in and out of the Discord. I've got to do work, business work today. Gotta take care of some more stuff. I should be able to stream tomorrow, maybe. But at minimum, I will be streaming Sunday for our Tetris tournament. Thank you for the stream, QTK. Thank you. Thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for being so kind to our poor Tasato. Poor. Our poor Stone. Who donut supered today? Reina. Mickey the Mute blew me up in super chats today. He's very, very kind. You know, Dark Virus as well. We got a lot of donut supers today, Reina. But anyway, you guys, I will see you in the Discord and I'll see you later. Toodaloo.